Welcome to RNS. I'm Dylan.
Real nerd shit. I'm Evan.
Today, Evan, I thought we might talk about our most controversial MCU opinion that Endgame is really bad.
It's really disappointing. IMO.
And terrible.
IMO.
Okay. Well, I should say that it's my most controversial MCU opinion that I think it's literally the worst MCU movie.
I don't think it's the worst, but it is really disappointing. And the ending of the movie just completely sucks. But everyone's like, oh, this is literally the greatest culmination of epicness of all time. No.
And
it's
also,
not. It sucks as a finale.
And then also for context too, I remember was it on one of my videos or was it in just the comment section where someone was like, you're not really, you know, they were like, you're an action junkie, you don't really get Endgame, you know. Someone literally said that to me in a comment section that I was an action junkie, so I wouldn't understand Endgame.
It's such a deep film, you know. You need to really use all your brain power to understand it.
For a movie that's 3 hours long, I'm pretty sure it has no character arc for any character and no substance to anything.
That's a fair opinion.
So we're gonna go scene by scene and talk. I guess we'll try and keep it brief because it's a 3 hour fucking long movie. But we're gonna go scene by scene.
That doesn't need to be 3 hours long.
It does not. Absolutely, that's another issue too. Is it probably should be 2 hours for what it is. But yeah, we're gonna go scene by scene and talk about what we think about it. So you ready, Evan?
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first scene, of course, is the classic Hawkeye's family dying scene, right? How do you feel about this scene, Evan? Why don't you start?
The opening, it's fine. I mean, I don't know how many movies it was since we last saw Hawkeye. It's fine. You get the idea. We haven't seen him. It shows the snap happened in Infinity War. It's a cool little way to open up the movie. I have no problems with it.
I do. Yeah, there's no issue with it really. And I do kind of like, we'll get into that later, what they do with Hawkeye later in the movie. I think we both kind of like that.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. We'll talk about it. But the intro, I do agree with you. It's good. We get a character that we didn't see in Infinity War and how they were affected by the snap. It kind of gets you back into the mindset of where you were in Infinity War, but with a new character, new information. So I don't really have an issue with it. It's good. I should have done timestamps, but I didn't. And then we get homeless Tony Stark is the next scene with Nebula. So how do you feel about this part, Evan?
Again, it's fine. My problem doesn't really come up until a couple minutes in. Do you have anything really interesting to say about what's going on with him? His love letter to Pepper?
There's not much to say about it. I like the little part. Well, I do like it and I don't like it when Nebula offers like the last of the food to Iron Man. Or, I'm sorry. Well, yeah. Iron Man offers it first to her, and then she declines it. It's like, no, you eat it. It's like she's a fucking robot, so it's almost a cute character moment, but then it's like, well, it's kind of retarded. I kind of like his message to Pepper, and I like the scenario he's in. I like the idea of him being like trapped in space and shit. But it would have make more sense for the character if he got himself out of it, you know, like in Iron Man, when he gets himself out of a sticky situation where he's trapped.
I don't know. I think I've seen enough of Tony Stark doing fucking everything. But
well, no, you're right. It's so much better that Captain Marvel comes in.
No, that's not necessarily good either. That's not necessarily good either. It's not that it's bad, but it's just like I don't like her character, and she's done nothing up until now, and now she becomes the savior.
I feel like this part...
We'll get into that, I guess.
This part just feels like... It really just feels like them playing catch-up a little bit, where they're just like, well, we don't know what happened to him after Infinity War. They might as well just... It's a 3 hour fucking long movie. Just start him. He's already back. But you have to have, like, skinny Tony Stark later yelling, so I guess you have to have that. Alright, like, I'm just gonna move on. That's not too much that's interesting. I remember in the trailers, though, I did want it to be a different character that saves them, or he gets them out on his own.
I thought it would have been, like, Rocket and Thor that was gonna save him originally.
Those are characters that we like as the audience for Avengers fans. So it would
Rocket's okay.
Kind of, well, Thor at least is pretty dope. And then we have the scene. The next scene is Captain Marvel carrying the... What is it? Is this the Milano? Whatever? The Guardian ship. Carrying it to the Avengers base. And then there's, of course, this is classic line where he's like, "I lost the kid."
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. No. Not Tom Holland. No.
Classic, "I lost the kid" line. And,
No.
no one has any attachment to Spider-Man. I don't know. Like, there's no...
No, he already had the fangirls by this.
Well, of
by
course,
this
no.
point,
I mean, in the universe.
Oh, and yeah.
Like, this cat...
No, yeah, when he said, "I lost the kid," like, he's like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah,
That's what
because he saw him once in Civil War.
Yeah, Steve Rogers should have been like, "Who?"
He's like, "What?" And he's talking about him like, he's like, "I lost my son." Like, that's how he says
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
That's solely for the audience, for like the kind of, not headcanon, but like the almost made up relationship that Iron Man and Spider-Man have.
Yeah, you're right. I
movies.
actually did think about that when I unfortunately had to rewatch the film before we did this, and I thought, like, you know, it really doesn't make sense him saying that to Steve, because yeah, Steve. How does he know who he's talking about?
If anything, he should say it to Happy or something. But even then, their relationship is being overblown.
Yeah.
In the line, so, and then what else do we got here? When Rocket and Nebula hold hands.
Okay, that's fine, I guess. Whatever.
They don't really have any kind of relationship like that. And then we move into the base. An epic character moment for Captain Marvel welling up at seeing Nick Fury. We get Thor's about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2019 or whatever the meme was.
Whatever year this movie came out.
And then Tony Stark looks significantly more sickly once he gets inside, I feel like.
This part he does look more sickly. It's kind of weird, but this part isn't terrible to me. It is good to see, like, I guess finally some of the consequences from Civil War. It's not great, but it's okay. I don't know. I guess I get where Tony coming from. He's like, you know, if you, Steve, didn't fuck everything up in Civil War, we maybe could have stopped Thanos. But
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go, sir.
Well, I was just saying. Yeah, you've been rambling, huh? Yeah. No, it is interesting, but it's only interesting with the. Well, of course it's Endgame, so it's like, oh, this is the finale for all 20 movies, whatever. But it's only interesting with the context of Civil War. Like, it's only interesting if, like, you want a little more Civil War information. But, like, it has no bearing on the rest of the movie at all.
No, yeah, that's kind of the problem.
That's probably the problem I'm going to bring up in, like, every scene is, like, none of this has any bearing on the rest of the movie. It's just, like, little follow-ups to other movies. And, like, especially this, I do like the idea that, like, there was Civil War, they split up. Infinity War, they were split up still. When Thanos comes, they could have won, but they had been split up. That's a cool idea, but it doesn't affect Endgame at all. It only affects Infinity War. And
it affects, like, 2 scenes of the movie.
Yeah, it affects that when they're talking, they're just sitting there talking about it, but other than that, it doesn't affect the movie. And then, yeah, Iron Man is just mad at Cap, and it's like, I guess
it's fine. It feels believable. It's okay. I do like the first 20 minutes or so of the movie.
And then they put Iron Man to sleep.
They put him to sleep. They put the old man to bed.
They give him some Percocet, and they head off into space.
No, I think actually we should back up a little bit.
Oh, what? To what?
Because I got something to say about Captain Marvel.
Oh, go ahead.
We have not seen.
Oh, there's one. Okay, I do want to say that one thing is I hate this part.
Yes, me too.
Where I think every member of the Trinity, if you will, like Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, they all have a moment where they're like, I like her.
Yeah,
I like
oh,
Captain
she's
Marvel.
so amazing.
What the fuck did she do?
Yeah, she's done nothing. Well, she did save Tony's life. I guess that's fine. But here's really where my problem comes in. So we have this line where Captain Marvel was like, oh, Black Widow, I think Black Widow says, you know, where were you during all of this? And she's like, there's a lot of other planets that don't have the Avengers. You would think you would want to be on Earth while, like, something that's going to affect the entire fucking universe is going down. But she comes up with this BS line. It's like, the other planets don't have Avengers.
Yeah, that kind of excuse can only take you so far, because there's, like, I'm sure there's been other movies. Well, yeah, like Far From Home, Spider-Man, where they're like, oh, Captain Marvel's off-world. She's doing something else. Like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
She doesn't have time to deal with this guy that just has drones. But in the context of this movie is like the worst thing that can possibly happen to the entire universe outside of it completely dying is probably half of it leaving.
Yeah.
Half of it being destroyed. So it's like that's not an excuse. You might as well leave that line out of the movie. Doesn't make sense.
Agreed.
Yes, very stupid. Okay, is that all you had to say?
Yeah. It's just that line was always stupid to me because, like, yeah, you think you would want to be on Earth
Because
for that.
and there also is the like people bring up that point for like Avengers 1 or Age of Ultron is like, why aren't you here? But especially for Infinity War, you would think like this is the worst thing that can possibly happen.
Pretty much. That's where I'm
Outside of the entire universe being destroyed, the worst thing that can happen is half of it dying.
They could have came up with a better reason for why she couldn't have been there.
In my opinion, just leave it out.
Yeah, but they just came up with a really stupid line that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, if you're just going to pay lip service for one sentence, just leave it out of the movie, and she can... If anything, she could be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, don't be like, I was actually busy fighting other aliens. Like, they did not have no Infinity Gauntlet. They did... Like, no, shut up. Okay, we should move on. And I did want to shout out Xavier here. Because, if you recall... Xavier leaked us some information. My good friend Xavier, you have no context for who that is, but my good friend Xavier, he met somebody that told him, they were like, oh yeah, Cap has a black suit in Endgame. You remember that?
I do remember.
And I was like, oh, maybe that was the Winter Soldier suit. It's just a dark suit. And he was right. So we got that leak information. I sent it to Mr. Sunday Movies. No reply. No reply. No reading on the podcast.
Dylan, it's me, Mr. Sunday.
That is not an Australian accent. It's not an Australian accent.
Sorry, Mr. Sunday. We don't want any beef.
We don't want beef yet.
We like you.
Okay, so they're headed to space now. We're moving on from the Avengers compound. I hate some light speed. The fucked up Milano. They're landing on Titan. I hate this part. The epic scarecrow. the epic armor. Sorry, we're actually sitting here skimming through the movie while we talk about it. Yeah, they had the scarecrow with the armor. I remember Infinity War people were talking about, like, you know, they were like, oh, if you pay attention in the background, the armor's on the scarecrow, like the comic book. So yeah, he's mixing up some stew. He's cooking up something. And yeah, he has some really disgusting.
His face is fucking mutilated, and it looks horrible.
His face is mutilated, and they come bussing in. I feel like this scene is just here to give us an action scene. This scene sucks. I do kind of like there where he lifts up his arm, and then. So this is a pretty specific small moment, I guess, but I just noticed it. Like, he kind of lifts up his arm, and then the ground starts to move, so maybe you could think, like, oh, he still has the stones. But it turns out to just be Hulkbuster busting out.
Oh, yeah. That is actually kind of cool. I never thought about that.
It's kind of a cool little misdirect there.
No, stop giving the movie credit. Shit on it.
Well, you know, every once in a while we should throw out a bone, because I think everyone will click off eventually if we don't say anything nice. I do think it's kind of dope when, like, all the powerful people, like hold him down, and then Cap and Natasha just walk in. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that.
Because they couldn't do anything, but it's fine.
Well, I just like the idea that they were like, it's like, okay, like, we told them what to do.
We told them
to grab you, which is nothing.
Okay, so now we're gonna get to some really horrible dialogue.
Yeah, Evan, you hate this line. I think it's to me it's like the Captain Marvel line where it's like you're just lazily explaining something.
Yeah, so they pull up on Thanos. They want to take the stones, and Thanos is like, the stones are gone. And they're like, what? And he says, I used the stones to destroy the stones.
That don't make no sense. I remember we were speculating together before the movie came out a lot. We were talking about Endgame. And I remember thinking he would do something like this where he would get rid of the stones. I didn't think he would be like, I destroyed the stones with the stone. That is stupid. That's very stupid, because they're like, which one was left?
I used the stone to destroy the stones.
There had to be one left. Like, you know what I mean? There has to be one left. So
he could have used the time stones or something, or they could have actually shown that the soul stone has some purpose. Like, we don't even know. They never like really showed what the Soul Stone can do.
Oh well, there's all.
You
those,
know what I mean? They could have
Yeah.
did anything. They could have came up with some BS they always do.
But I think in the comics, I know sometimes there's this thing where there's like a failsafe where one of them, either it'll send itself away or it will like preserve itself somehow. There always has to be one so you can get the other ones back or something like that. I think they should have.
They could have done anything.
I think they should have done that
said
here and left the time stone, and then all the times, like, you don't have to have all the bullshit time travel stuff that amounts to nothing.
Yeah,
Just use the time stone.
pretty much.
That's all you had to do. And then you can do pretty much all the same bullshit you want, or preferably something better.
No, they can't do the time stone time travel because
What?
they need to do the time travel where they literally don't change
Where
anything.
nothing affects
yeah,
anything.
where they can time travel with no
You
consequences
think this
whatsoever.
is Back to the Future? This is real life where it doesn't change anything. It's real life.
We'll get to it.
Of course. So yeah, I feel like this scene is just here to have an action little scene, but I forgot I had a really good reason why I don't like this scene. I can't remember what it was.
It's because it's in Avengers Endgame. That's why you don't like it.
That is true. But there was another reason that I brought up to you why I didn't like the scene. I don't remember.
You know what, Dylan? You should have wrote some notes.
I should have.
But you know, at RNS we do stuff off the cuff.
We do it off the cuff.
We do it off the cuff.
We like to do a little bit of off the cuff.
Yeah.
So he cuts off his head, and it's very cool.
He said, "I went for the head."
I went for the head. That was actually probably one of the stupidest lines in the movie.
I don't have any strong feelings about it.
That's another, like, I think every single scene so far, that scene has no bearing on the rest of the movie. Outside, I guess they learn there's no stones. They learn there's no stones and Thanos is dead, but Thanos wasn't a threat anymore anyway. So, yeah. Hate that scene. Hate this movie. We're moving on, and this is the time skip 5 years later. We're in New York. We're having gay Joe Russo talk about how gay he is. This scene's okay.
It's fine.
I don't have much to say about it. It's interesting, but it's also very melodramatic. Where he's like, he cried after the salad, I cried after dessert. Like, that's so fucking stupid.
I don't know. I don't have any. I'm like, whatever.
I hate that because it's just implying like, oh, we all cry all the time and everything. Like,
yeah.
It's cool to have a little support group like after the thing. Like, of course, that's a crazy travesty to have like the entire universe cut in half, but being like, oh, he cried after this. When did you cry? When did he cry? I hate that. Okay, you want to skip the rest of this?
So I guess this is where we have a little coincidence or whatever you want to call it affect the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah, if this which of course when the movie came out, people were like, the Rat is the greatest hero in the MCU. It's so crazy, so zany. This sucks.
Yeah.
Because
it's more bad writing.
It's more bad writing because
you have everything that happens on the movie rely on a stupid gag, basically.
Yeah.
It's a gag. That's all it is.
I wouldn't even call it a gag. It's just...
I feel like it was supposed to be because, the MCU, they're so wacky. But
I'm sure it was supposed to be funny, but at the same time, it's like... It was just so thinly veiled to me that I couldn't even think it was funny. Like, it was... Wow. And it's also the fact of, like, all the direct kind of setups between MCU movies and this movie. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp had a direct setup to Endgame. Captain Marvel did. They're very lazy. I don't even know the point of having the Endgame, like the Ant-Man and the Wasp setup, because they have this like, oh no, he's trapped, like Ant-Man is trapped, like what? Oh no, like when will this be resolved?
Yeah.
And then in Endgame, he just comes out.
Because of a rat.
Great setup. Cool setup. Great setup. Cool. So yeah, he comes out. This scene isn't that bad of him kind of.
Yeah, I kind of like this part actually, where when he first comes out, he's like, "Yo, what the hell is going on?"
Yeah, and there's just...
Because it makes sense.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know what happened at all.
Yeah.
And there's just, like, I guess this crime-ridden world where you just see this sedan, like, on cinder blocks.
Where you see this emo kid on a bike.
This deeply sad child, and he refuses to answer. He goes to the 9/11 memorial, and he pushes people around, and he finds out he's dead. He goes to see his beautiful daughter. Yeah, that scene's, like, it's okay. It's kind of like the Hawkeye scene, where it's like, okay, this is where Ant-Man would be.
Yeah.
That's fine. This epic scene with the peanut buttered sandwich.
And then we see, I guess, Black Widow kind of running the Avengers now, which I guess is fine.
Yeah.
She was kind of like, it kind of makes sense, you know, like, she kind of had that role working with, like, S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. So, you know what I mean? She kind of has, like, that kind of role. So it's fine.
This is a piss poor fucking Avengers team.
Yeah, we got Rhodey, Rocket Raccoon, and Nebula, Captain Marvel, and
Okoye.
I'm sorry, is that her name? Okay, I was like, I'm sorry, I forgot her name. And yeah, they're handling it and stuff.
That is a very ugly lineup.
And Rhodey brings up Mr. Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, he brings up Mr. Hawkeye.
He killed a bunch of cartel dudes. Oh, he's wild now.
Which
he's edgy.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
And they mentioned, of course, there's a like they talk about they were like there's tremors in the ocean, and then they were like, oh, what do we do about that? And they were like, nothing. It's the ocean. They confirmed that to be a Namor reference.
Did they?
Yeah, which nothing indicates at all that
retroactively. They retroactively said his Namor. He's in Black Panther too.
It's like all the little bullet points on the map in Iron Man 2 where they were just like, well, that was that.
Where they were like, yeah, that little kid with Peter Parker.
Well, that too is also in Iron Man 2, yeah. So that's I don't like that set. They could have why not if it is a reference to Namor, why not name drop Atlantis? Why not name drop Namor? Why not talk about an army from the sea? Like they're just talking about platonic whatever shifts in the ocean.
Platonic.
What is it called? I don't know.
Tectonic
plates.
They were talking about platonic friendships.
They were talking about me and Amy.
Oh. Scott shows up.
Oh yeah, and then Scott just comes. So he just comes in and he starts talking about time travel already somehow.
I don't
know why
he thought it up.
We're 30 minutes in. This is 30 minutes into the movie.
Oh, thank God, the podcast is like a quarter of the way over. No, not a quarter.
Sixth.
Sixth of the way. I can't do math. They go to see Mr. Tony Stark.
Of course.
And I like this part.
First, they reveal Tony, and he has a new little life. His daughter's wearing the cool what is her name? Prometheus.
The whatever the suit is called.
Girl Iron Man.
She's wearing this. Rescue.
The blue rescue suit, and she has like a little toy repulsor.
And I like this part because this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Tony have a family. It makes sense for where his character's been going for however many years leading up to this, I think.
Yeah, and it makes it even more meaningful when he sacrifices himself. So
we'll get to that. We'll get to that, okay?
That was a joke. So, yeah, he's sitting out here. He's playing with his daughter, and then the Avengers pull up.
The Avengers being Paul Rudd, Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson.
Of course. Basically, he kind of invites them to dinner, but all they want to do is talk about time travel. And he's, this is the part where they establish, I think, it doesn't work like Back to the Future. You think it's Back to the Future? No, it works even less. Like it makes sense.
That's what they kind of start going in that direction. Yeah. And it's fine. I like that Tony's like, no, I'm done with that life. Because he's got a family now. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and I like the fact that at least there was some period of time where he did what Pepper wanted and stopped being Iron Man. Yeah.
At least
he probably quit like 20 times already before this, but whatever.
Yeah, like when we don't have to get too much into it, but yeah, like when they brush the whole Iron Man 3 thing aside in Civil War, and when he just shows up in Age of Ultron like nothing ever happened and shit. That's whatever. But what's the next best thing is the Hulk.
It's Hulk.
Is walking, talking, tick-tocking Hulk.
Because he's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy.
And this scene is funny. The Hulk is like, me and the Hulk are the same dude now. We're Professor Hulk. We're Smart Hulk. It's fine.
Yeah, so the Hulk had schizophrenia the whole time, confirmed.
I guess.
They're the same personality. They're the same man. There was never...
I never thought about them as being two different people, really, though. I always thought of it as just two different personalities.
I just wasn't sure. Well, once it was like, what is it, in Infinity War, and he's like, we got a lot of stuff to work out, big guy. I was like, well, I guess he's a different... he's a different being.
I like it better that they're the same person.
I like it a lot better than being the same person, but of course, like,
I like it better that they are the same person.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I like that better, too. But once they said that in Infinity War, where he was like, we got a lot of stuff to work out, I was like, okay, I guess that's not what it is. But then in this, it's like, definitely they're the same person.
Yeah.
He's just schizophrenic.
But here's my problem with this scene. We never get to see that Hulk work this out, and this is a problem with the Hulk in general.
What?
We have not seen Bruce Banner actually transform into the Hulk.
Well, they eliminated...
Like, actually on camera transform into the Hulk since Avengers Part 1. Disney said, we gotta cut the CGI budget, okay? We can't actually show this man transforming into the Hulk. So we don't see how this happened at all because, they don't want to... They can't be bothered to deal with the CGI involving the transformation.
Well, I don't think it's even that. But I do think...
I know, I just need to get that nitpick off real quick. And I can bring it in here.
Well, I'm just saying, I know they of course they do cut that corner. And we talk about this sometimes too, IRL, in our private lives.
Where all we do is just do the same thing we're doing right here.
No. Please don't intrude on our private lives. It's very sacred. Please don't intrude. Anyways, so we talked about that where, of course, they're lazy and they haven't showed him transform. But also the CGI, at least in my opinion, I think you agreed with me, is that it's just gotten worse over the years.
Oh, definitely.
Since it was, what was it, Paramount or something?
At wherever
it was before Disney bought the MCU.
Yeah, the CGI definitely did get worse.
The CGI looks good in Avengers 1.
It does.
Everything looks great in Iron Man. I can't speak to Thor, but I know Cap looked good. And it's just gotten worse over time, like the rotoscope Iron Man head
in Civil War.
Oh looks terrible. Terrible. And this movie looks fine until the ending, which is sadly like a fourth.
A gray mess.
It's a brown, gray, ugly mess. The ending, but we'll get to that. But yeah, just speaking on the Hulk. Ultimately, I don't think they avoided showing him like transforming, like consolidating the Hulk into himself and everything. I don't think they really avoided that. I don't think you have time to show that. But I do think the choice to make him Professor Hulk was in line with that kind of like, we're never going to show him transform.
Yeah, because like, now he's with the Hulk all the time.
In general, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny when he insists that Ant-Man take the picture.
Yeah, this is funny.
I do think that's funny. He's kind of a himbo now.
It's one of the only jokes that hits. It's one of the only jokes that hits in this entire movie.
Genuinely, it's one of the only scenes in the movie where I'm like, this is kind of enjoyable.
Yeah.
I kind of like this part. I never realized how quickly this goes by, where they have, I guess because it was already like 40 minutes in, so it was kind of felt like we were here for a while, but it's very quick that you have, they go to Tony for the time travel thing. The next scene is meeting Hulk because Tony won't help them. Then the next scene is Tony looking at the picture of Spider-Man and deciding he wants to make time travel now.
It happens really quickly.
That happens very quickly.
Okay, and now here comes a big problem I have with this movie here. How he immediately figures out time travel. Like, with his hand is literally clenched over his face, and he's like, "Oh my god, I figured out time travel."
I think I skipped through the montage. I think the montage of him doing it is a minute long.
No, yeah. He figures. I've seen some people like kind of debating this, say that he was already possibly working on time travel prior to this, but still, he figures it out immediately. This is another problem I have with this movie and the whole MCU. It's not even him just figuring it out right away. That's bad, but of course, they always had to leave it to Tony Stark to figure everything out. Hulk does literally nothing. I would have liked to have him and Bruce work together.
Yeah. They
show Bruce trying to do the time travel stuff and it's just failing.
Yeah.
But of course, Tony, he's perfect. He figures it out immediately. And now, it goes back to, Tony Stark just having way too big of an effect on the MCU.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. It would have been interesting, you're right, if...
they should have worked together to figure it out, yeah.
The movie, in my opinion, should have started more or less with them coming to Tony for the time travel kind of thing. Well, maybe have, like, the Hawkeye set up, have the Ant-Man set up. The rest of that shit, no. Like, skip that, in my opinion.
So, Tony figures it out. He sees his daughter.
His little daughter says the S word.
She says that word that we're not allowed to say here.
We can't say that.
We can't say that.
No.
We can say fuck, but we can't say that one. And then Tony gets that iconic line said to her, "I love you 3000."
That's literally on the bumper sticker on the back of my car. It's great.
It's such a cute little line.
Great line.
Great line.
I remember recently, it's funny, like you, I thought you were so serious. You were like, oh, dude, you don't remember after the movie? You were like, the I love you 3000 line. You gaslit me. I was like, did I say that? I don't think I said that. I was defensive about it. But yeah, he's just, some establishment with the daughter, which is fine. But yeah, another thing too is just like, it's crazy that the loss of Spider-Man inspires him to do the thing again. Get back into the Avengers shit again. There's they barely have any type of relationship. They haven't, they have somewhat of a working relationship.
Yeah.
That's really the best I can say for it. Like, by the end of Homecoming, they're not friends. Like, they're not, but the fandom just likes to have this kind of, oh, he's his father. Like, not really.
And he was kind of brushing him aside the whole movie. Too,
yeah, but I do like in Homecoming where he's like, he says something to be like, oh, I was keeping track of you the whole time.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice, I guess. But ultimately, he is not.
I don't like it because, like, I don't want to see Iron Man, like, intruding on Spider-Man. But whatever, that's a different issue. That's unrelated to them.
That's a different cast.
That's unrelated to this movie.
That's a different pod.
So we could just not talk about that.
Well, yeah, but basically my point was just, it's very stupid that is the sole thing that implied by the movie. Maybe there's other shit going on in his head, but as far as what we see...
Yeah, because he picks up the picture.
Yeah, the only thing that he's inspired by, as far as we know, is the loss of Spider-Man. So, and it took him 5 years to come around on it.
Yeah. They didn't have to, like, do much to get him back in.
All they had to do, he just had to sit on it for a day.
Yeah.
And then he
a few hours.
Then he does the dishes, sees Spider-Man, he's like, well, shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then he goes to Pepper about it, kind of like, oh, I want to get back in the game. And she's like, go ahead and get back in the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine, because that is part of Tony's character, is that he never quits.
Yeah.
No matter how many times he tries, he always ends up still being Iron Man.
That is true. But it's handled very lazily.
Okay.
Because that's...
Yeah.
It is established in the MCU, and that is a good character trait that is consistent. But at the same time, we never see the process of it. We never see the fallout of it. It's just kind of like between movies, he's like, yeah, she was mad, or, well, I'm out now, but I guess, I'll look at Spider-Man and I'll come back. I don't know. It's just very, very lazily done. But it is a consistent character trait.
Yeah.
That factors into other things. So then we have...
Bruce
Hulk
failing to get the time travel working.
Yeah. Bruce and the rest of the Avengers are starting to test out the time travel. They're using the Ant-Man whip. He pees his pants. Was it the old one or the new one, or was it just me? Was I just scared? Good stuff.
It is kind of funny when Hulk is like, he'll grow. Hulk has a few funny moments in this movie.
Hulk is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Hulk is kind of funny.
That part was funny.
And I do like it's kind of clever to have like we're trying to make time travel work, and it's literally only de-aging the person, not sending them anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting like, it's a little shorthand for like we're not getting this to work really. This part's not that bad, It's
yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
The truth about Avengers Endgame is that it's fine.
The truth about Avengers Endgame is that it's the worst movie I've ever seen. Then Iron Man pulls up.
We say, oh, it's fine. Every 5 minutes.
He pulls up in the Audi.
He pulls up in the Audi.
The classic Audi.
The classic Audi.
And this is one of the hugest things for me, where you were saying like, oh, it's not terrible, but it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. Of course, we have an interaction between Cap and Iron Man earlier, but then after they don't get the time travel work, Iron Man pulls up the Audi, and then him and Cap talk. This was very disappointing for me.
Yeah, because now everything's cool right away.
And
they should have had more attention.
I wanted something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe you have Cap in a fight, Iron Man comes and saves him, and they make up or something. But then he just pulls the shield out of his trunk. Let's get to business.
Yeah.
It sucks. So yeah, he pulls out the shield, and then we have the classic taco scene. The classic vegan taco scene.
Okay, I had to know, is there a visual error here? I'm not entirely sure.
Of what?
So look, go up a little bit more. No, keep going. Yeah. So this was stupid. Nebula be like, "There's an idiot in the landing zone." Like, you don't even know this man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, fuck you.
Anyways,
like you can have because even if a relationship isn't established with him, if it was,
I don't think they met each other at all up to this point. Yeah.
But I'm saying if it was someone that she's implied to have a relationship with after the 5-year gap.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
It'd be fine because it's like, well, we know that they're teammates. But this, like, we know for a fact that he just came back. You don't know this man. He's like, oh, there's a And
There's an idiot out here.
And why are they just flexing on him? Like War Machine pulls up and he's like, "Little boy, like, why? Is this just to establish that all the only the core Avengers are cool and like the other ones are assholes? Like, because then Hulk comes up and he gives him cool tacos.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna accept. But look, doesn't it look like he's handing him 2 tacos?
He is.
And he only has 1 there, right?
No, wait. Does he have 1?
Yeah, he only has 1.
Evan, it's hard to rig CGI. Okay, it's hard.
Fair enough.
It's hard.
They had to CGI the tacos.
Well, I'm saying Hulk is a giant CGI man, so they have to float the tacos to him. So who knows how many times they drop those. So yeah, the tacos, and then they head to New Asgard.
They head to New Asgard.
And this song, you know what? One thing nice I can say about this movie is they put me onto this song, Supersonic Rocket Ship, Phi song, good song.
And this is where we get the introduction of Fat Thor.
Yeah, the classic Fat Thor. They go and talk to what's her name, Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And they talk to her, and she's basically like, I've been running this shit like Thor's. Go take a look for yourself. Matter of fact. You know?
Yeah, I like this.
I like this part. It's kind of funny.
Because I don't know, it kind of makes sense with Thor. I think. You
Yeah,
see the other movies, that man, he's always down bad.
I think
he gets down bad a lot.
He is down bad. He's quite down bad. And I like the aspect of in Infinity War when him and Rocket have that conversation. Thor, what does he say? He says something like what else do I have to like? He's like, well, what if we lose or like whatever? And Thor's like, well, what else do I have to lose or some shit like that? And then of course he doesn't die, but he loses again. You know, after he lists all that shit off. That's like, my brother's dead, my mom's dead, my dad's dead.
Right after Thor Ragnarok.
Asgard's destroyed.
It keeps getting worse for him.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse. And then he's like, well, I'm going to kill Thanos. Like, this is my new challenge. And he's like, well, what's even keeping you going and shit? And he's just like, I don't know. I just have to win. Like, we're just going to win right now, and I don't know what I'll do if I don't win.
Yeah.
And then this is what happens. He just becomes a fat schlub.
God bless you.
Oh, pardon me. So, yeah, he's just cracking open some brewskis playing Fortnite with Korg. Hell yeah.
Relatable.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. Bro, this is exactly how I look. The big tummy, the long hair. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Not much to say. It's kind of stupid when he threatens the kid or whatever. That's kind of stupid.
No, it's not the kid, man. Remember, he's confirmed to be Aaron from from Winter Soldier.
No one knows.
He's a grown man.
I feel like even the most diehard fucking Endgame fans don't even know what that means.
They don't.
It's the fat guy that calls Steve a specimen in Winter Soldier, and he's also in an Xbox commercial with Falcon.
Great.
It's confirmed that, and I remember when this came out too. People were like, "Ooh, is that Deadpool? I bet Noobmaster 69 is Deadpool."
Did people really say that?
Yeah, that was like a cool fan theory. Then we have a Batman scene with cuts to Batman, Hawkeye.
Okay, so this scene, I don't like it.
Why?
Because
Explain.
it's cool. It's cool seeing Hawkeye do his thing as Ronin, but the Ronin thing is ultimately kind of pointless.
So is everything else.
Well, yeah, because what does him being Ronin change in, like, how does it change the movie at all? Or his character? It doesn't.
I think it's, not to defend the movie, but I think it's
just for a cool little Easter egg. That's all it is.
It is a cool little Easter egg, but it's also just a visual representation of, like, when there's a change in a character, generally there's a physical change as well.
Yeah, but he just goes back to being normal Hawkeye 10 minutes after this.
Does he?
Yeah.
I feel like he's still angsty the rest of the movie.
Not really. I don't know.
For as much screen time as he gets, which is not much, I feel like he's still just kind of brooding and sad the rest of the movie.
I feel like it doesn't change anything.
He's willing to test the time travel shit just because he's like, well, whatever. Like, if I die, I don't care.
I guess. And then at
the end,
there are no consequences either for him being this vigilante. You know what I'm saying? Because they kind of condemn it, all the Avengers. Like, they're like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. But he doesn't pay any consequences for it.
I guess if anything,
it doesn't change anything.
I guess if anything,
he could have just been normal Hawkeye.
I guess if anything, it's just a setup for, not a setup. It's an they just don't follow up on it. It's a cool, in my opinion, it's a cool setup, and I think it's consistent with his character for the rest of the movie. But it's a setup in a very long movie that has little to no payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It doesn't have any payoff. It doesn't feel like it was necessary. It might be a thing in the Hawkeye show. We don't know for sure yet, but I feel like it probably won't.
Well, you put a gun in his mouth in front of his wife.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy Renner, you probably shouldn't do those things.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah.
He was method acting. He was method acting.
He was in the he was in the Ronin.
Yeah.
He sent shurikens to all his crewmates. Shurikens and dead Japanese guys. So yeah.
He was on his Jared Leto shit.
After this cool Batman, Hawkeye scene, Black Widow comes and gets him, and the meme happens where he's like, "Don't do this to me. Don't give me hope."
It's cool that it was Black Widow because I like their relationship.
Me too.
Black Widow and Hawkeye. So
Yeah,
it was cool that was her to come and get him. I mean, it had to have been.
But I do.
Unless it was like Scarlet Witch, but obviously she's dead at this point.
Yeah, she's gone. But I do kind of disagree about. I don't know. I think the Ronin stuff, it's cool, and I think it's consistent with the rest of the movie. There's other stuff in the movie that I think is way more of a time waster. Like I said, like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's safe for like the introduction to Hawkeye and the introduction to Ant-Man, which you need. And what are they talking about here? They're talking about
why it's not Back to the Future. Why time travel actually has no consequences whatsoever.
Yeah, it has no consequences in this universe. I guess the way it's very weird because in the Loki show it kind of conflicts with this. We talked about that a bit, but it
Full disclosure, I've only watched 15 minutes of Loki episode 1. I was like, what? And then I fell asleep.
But
I'll get to it. Okay.
Still, the time travel logic in Loki is consistent with Endgame, and in Endgame it's essentially like every time you time travel, it's not the same universe. I think that's effectively what it is.
It's confusing and at the same time simple to not change anything. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. I don't like the explanation.
It really doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So yeah, they're spending a lot of time sitting here explaining the time travel, and they have Hawkeye test it out. He's on the farm. Is this the farm? This isn't the farm. This is the suburbs, right?
He's seeing his family.
He's seeing his cool family. They're just testing the time travel, and then he goes back. There's not much to it. But yeah, like I said, he's still angsty. He still has a great haircut.
That he does. I'll give him that. He has that amazing haircut.
And then they move into the stones, and we're about an hour into the movie. They move into trying to explain the stones. They have Thor come up, and he's down bad.
He's down bad.
He's down bad. He starts trailing off about Natalie Portman. It's pretty funny. I like that. So Jane was an old flame of mine. All right. What else do we got here?
So they all decide basically who's gonna get what stone.
Oh yeah,
what the teams are gonna be.
Right here's when they stop pairing up, and I remember we predicted this. I think we did predict this actually, where we were like, "There's 3 stones in New York" at one point. We were trying to kind of guess where Endgame was going and have cool fan theories before the movie came out, and we were like, "Yeah, at one point there's 3 stones in New York," and then they literally bring that up here in the beginning.
Did we say that?
We did, for a fact.
I don't remember, but just to go along with you, I'm gonna say yeah. We
no, because I remember we were like, oh, there's 2 on Earth, 2 in space, and 2, one we don't know where it is, or some I don't know, some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh yeah, there's 3 in New. I remember we did talk about that. Then Black Widow brings that up here. 6 stones, 3 teams, and then they.
And Captain America monologuing.
Does he monologue?
He gives a speech.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, he's pretty good at that. Is he?
Yeah, it's fine. It's inspiring.
It's very inspiring. So then we go back to 2012 Avengers, and we have a cool joke about Hulk. Very funny.
Very funny.
Very funny movie.
Very hilarious.
Hilarious. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Because unironically, what I've said so far is funny. I actually thought it was funny. That part is not funny. Just for full disclosure, not funny. Then they have Bruce Banner. I guess they do actively avoid having him transform from the Hulk here.
Yes, they do.
By pushing the spirit out instead of having him transform.
They do that.
But yeah, Hulk pulls up on the Ancient One. Another meme, Stephen Strange is 5 miles that way or whatever, performing heart surgery.
Was that a meme?
Yeah, it was a meme where the Ancient One's like, you're 5 years too early or something.
Oh, okay.
It was a meme. The point.
Every line in this film was a meme.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, yeah, this fat man Thor goes down to Asgard, sees his mommy, gets a pet talk. This part's okay. Anything to say about this?
No, because now we're getting to the part of the movie where all of it's just callbacks to these other movies, and it just becomes Easter egg the movie. I feel like there's really not a lot to say about what's coming up here.
Yeah,
because it just becomes Easter egg the movie.
I do like the part that it's gonna cut before we get to that, but I like the part where he's like happy that he's still worthy, and he brings Mjolnir back with him.
Yeah,
I kind of like that, but spending a lot of time. I don't like spending a lot of time in these old movies. I don't like it.
Yeah, so that's where the disappointment factor starts coming. They could have done. I don't know. They could have done something a lot more interesting here. But
I agree.
It just becomes Easter egg the movie. It's all just callbacks for an hour.
It's pretty lazy follow-ups to old movies. And also I hate the way they bring back Gamora. Same way they bring back Loki,
it's like,
really.
Yeah, it's like a different Gamora.
It's
the same Gamora, but it's a different Gamora.
It's just Gamora prior to the last few movies or whatever.
Yeah, and then now her death has become meaningless because she's back.
I really thought everyone that died prior to the snap in Infinity War would stay dead, but I was very naive in thinking that would happen.
No, they've all come back.
They have all come back. Every single except good old Chadwick. Will not return.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, they literally all came back. Loki.
Every single
Vision.
person comes back, yeah. Well, I guess Heimdall hasn't come back.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Big rest in peace to Heimdall.
He was awesome. I liked Heimdall.
He gets name dropped in Loki. That's about it. And then they're watching Avengers 1, kind of the aftermath, which is it's kind of cute, I guess. They're like, you gotta take the stairs, Hulk. Why would Hulk not just jump out the window? But no, it's silly. He takes the stairs. Very cool. Iron Man in the new fit. It's kind of cool. The Hail Hydra part. How do you feel about that?
Winter Soldier.
I just like that he's able to use that information to his benefit.
Yeah.
They don't question him because he says that, and of course he doesn't have to pretend he's Hydra for the rest of his life because he's gonna leave in time. Kind of cool. Hulk goes down the stairs. Iron Man's disguised. This part sucks. This part really sucks because like it's all very manufactured. Like, I guess the point is to not reveal themselves to the other Avengers, but I feel like you could have just gone like a year in advance when this is just in a the Tesseract is just in a facility. Let's go grab that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it's a decent conceit that they have to be in New York.
They all wanted to go to that one specific time where they're all the stones were there at the same.
Right. That is a decent conceit, but it's kind of cool when Thor like restarts his heart with Mjolnir. I kind of like that. Then Cap fights himself. This part sucks.
Care to elaborate?
Stupid.
This is bad.
It's just bad. I don't know. What do you want? I don't. What's bad about it? It's stupid. It's boring to look at. It's boring to look at. It's not funny.
That's America's ass, bro.
Hilarious. That's stupid. Like, why? And also, I'm gonna have to go on a quick. If you don't mind.
God. Don't say that.
What? Okay, listen.
Just have to go off on a little tangent.
Why can they sexualize all the males but none of the females? That bothers me still to this day. Anyways, very funny. America's ass, unconscious man, very funny. Then we have the whole timeline thing where they explain time travel again. And I guess really what this is kind of
they try to make it make sense again.
I feel like ultimately what it is, the way they explain it in this movie, is that every branching timeline is just a new dimension, which is, it's fine enough. But then they kind of contradict it in Loki, even though it works the same still. I think that's going to be the reveal at the end of Loki. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're just sitting here explaining time travel again in this 3-hour-long movie.
Now they try to explain it where to show like, oh, how they can make it consistent with what they were saying before, but not have any consequences on other people. You know what I mean? On like the, how do I explain this? Because they try to explain time travel like it's other. See, this doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. But like they try to have time travel be like other realities or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Effectively, time
they're
travel
like, oh, well,
doesn't
we don't want to mess
exist.
up these other realities.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because it's
They
like...
talk about basically what's going to come later, where Captain America will go back and not mess up any of the realities by putting the stones back where they belong.
I guess by putting the stones back, it closes the loop. Like
Yeah.
It kind of makes it stops being a pocket dimension kind of thing, and it becomes like it never happened, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Then Thanos finds out about Thanos.
Through Nebula. Because for some reason her robot brain, it messes with her past robot brain, and now she can see the future.
There could have been so many more ways to do this, and this is very stupid. Like, fucking her Bluetooth turns on when the other Nebula is there. Like, it just puts on her WebMD, and she just knows.
Yeah, what's going on?
She just sees all the footage from the future, like.
And
okay.
Thanos finds out.
But after that, we get to back to Thor with his mommy, and his mom's like, "You're fat. You're not Thor."
We need more moms like this. Just be straight up, be like.
Beautiful, gorgeous Natalie Portman for a moment here. Okay.
And Rocket gets the stone, and Thor did not help at all. But he got the hammer back. So
but he got the hammer back. He got to talk to his mama. The beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy is what they cut to next.
Yeah.
Did they refilm any of this?
Probably.
I don't think they did. I think they just cut to them behind similar rocks.
I don't know.
I don't think this is any Star-Lord here.
Anyways, they steal from him.
And they do a very lazy attempt at having them connect with each other.
They try to make the War Machine and Nebula team up make sense, because they put these two characters together because we don't care about them.
They put them together because there's no one left.
Yeah, because
like,
and we don't like these two characters. And they try to make it make sense. Like, they're like, you are a robot, and I have a robot spine. We're just like each other.
No, yeah, you were literally tortured in the most horrendous way possible, where every... I don't like Nebula, but the fact is, like, she was tortured, like
yeah, horribly.
Terribly tortured. And then he's like, well, I fell down.
I fell down.
So we are both...
We're the same. No, it is, because he's like, you know what? I wasn't always like this either. You're almost the same exact person, except you have a robot spine now.
We're both man and machine.
Yeah, so whatever.
He's inevitable. Thor, like fucking Thanos, is looking at himself.
And now he knows that he dies.
He knows that he dies. He knows that Gamora and Nebula betray him, or something like that. And then we come back to New York. What happens here? They decide to go back to the 70s here.
Yeah, because they messed up getting the Tesseract.
Because they mucked it up.
They mucked it up.
They mucked it up. Loki went. He said, "Loki."
They're muckrakers.
They're. I don't know what that means.
Me either. They're stupid.
Muckrakers.
Yeah, they're journalists.
Oh, that is what that means.
Different dumb.
But yeah, they sit here. Loki decided he needed his own show, so he jugged the Tesseract.
Yeah. They're like, let's give him something.
And they're
like, we're not done with Tom Hiddleston yet, so he can jump.
And then we get...
We're not done with you yet. We need 20 more spinoffs.
Then we get Owen Wilson. So yeah, they go back. Probably the worst Stan Lee cameo of all time, and and then he died after it. So
rest in peace, Stan.
Very cool. Rip Stan, but that cameo sucked.
Rip Stan.
That cameo sucked a lot. And then this part...
It was okay. He just, hey man, he's a classic Stan Lee. I don't know.
I like all the...
It's not amazing. It's not horrible.
I like all the Community cameos. Very cool.
So here we get where things start to change for Mr. Captain America and Mr. Iron Man.
Things get to be a little more grim.
Where they start to kind of change the path these characters are going on.
I guess, yeah, this is where... Because should we talk about what we expected from the movie? As far as the ending? Or should we wait?
I guess we can start talking about it now.
Well, yeah, because our expectation really is ultimately our expectation as a couple was our expectation was that Tony would retire and Cap would sacrifice himself.
Yes.
For a lot of reasons that makes sense to me. I guess we can get into that a little more towards the end of the movie. But yeah, they start lining that up here, where he has a conversation with his father, and then Captain America kind of just stares at.
Yeah,
Peggy,
and now they start changing, where I feel like Captain America's character path had been going for the last however many years.
And yeah, there was they're like, oh, what are you without a war and shit?
Yeah.
I guess happy. I guess happy. Yeah,
So,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Tony talked to his dad.
Oh wait, let me interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
So you know how there's that whole like, oh, Captain America's going on an adventure to put the stones back. You know that whole thing. Does he have to go back and not be with Peggy?
What do you mean?
Because you can't have the branching timelines. I guess it only matters if it's an Infinity Stone or something.
I don't know, dude.
Doesn't he put Mjolnir back though? So where's the line?
I guess the ancient one was like, oh, if you move the Infinity Stone, that's where the alternate.
But he has to put Mjolnir back.
I don't know, dude.
So yeah, he just talks to his dad. Still a stupid movie. You have anything to say about this?
I think I'm gonna say that this. I don't know, just.
It's bad. I like.
No, he talked to his dad, and that's fine. I do like that he gets to kind of forgive his dad.
Yeah.
Finally. But that's where it starts going off the rails for me with Tony, because he's like, "Oh, you did your best," to his dad. And I think the idea is that Tony was supposed to do better than his dad, but ultimately he doesn't. Which is what we'll get to.
He more or less does the same thing.
Yeah.
That
he puts his work over
his family.
Yeah. And that's what messed up Tony. That's the reason it's kind of implied that's why he's so fucked up.
That's what he had to forgive him for.
Yeah.
In that very scene. So.
Yeah. So this is where things start going again wacky.
Inconsistent.
And then Steve sees Peggy, and now he's like, damn, she's still a baddie.
Even when I first, I hated this movie upon first viewing. Evan, let me speak on your name. Because I remember you were like, oh, the end fight's pretty cool. I didn't like the end fight. I didn't like the end fight. I didn't like anything. I didn't like a single thing about this movie when I first saw it. I still don't like it to this day. And I'll get into, there's probably, I have, a good little thesis towards the end during the climax where I can speak to something specific. Yeah, I don't like nothing. I like a few very small things that don't amount to much in a 3-hour movie. I do like young Robert Redford, and I like his big.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the movie.
And I like his big. He sips the coffee and he has a big Ant-Man helmet. I like
Robert. You're talking about Michael Douglas.
Robert Redford. I mean Michael.
Redford was earlier.
He's the elevator Hydra guy. Yeah, sorry. Fucking Michael Douglas.
No, he wasn't even the elevator Hydra guy. He was like the senator dude. He's in the lobby.
He's there.
He's there.
Okay.
I thought you were actually saying, oh, Robert Redford. I'm like, yeah, that's the best part, man. But Michael Douglas is pretty good, too.
Young Michael Douglas. Reface Michael Douglas.
With his young-looking head of hair.
And then, yeah, we have this... After that, we have this moment where he's forgiving his father, kind of. And, yeah, I definitely agree with you that this kind of... This even further sets up the fact that he should retire and stop being Iron Man.
Yeah.
And live.
And then for Steve, they start changing. He's like, oh, he starts thinking about some different stuff.
Yeah. Steve gets horny, and Iron Man decides it's his time. So yeah, Steve kind of goes to hide from the people that were gonna catch him, infiltrating, and then he stares one foot away from Peggy. He stares at her,
and somehow she does not turn and notice him at all.
Not even turn,
She don't look up.
Not even look up. She just doesn't notice. She just does not notice. It's literally 1 foot from her is Steve Rogers looking into her eyes and
staring dead at her.
His dead ass is not even look up. It's like she just doesn't notice. She just doesn't see 1 foot in front of her face.
It's a one-way glass, bro. It's a one-way glass.
It's one-way glass.
I read that on Reddit. Yeah, it was a one-way glass.
Then why the fuck does it have blinds?
It was a joke.
Did you actually read that?
No, I was joking.
Okay. I thought you were serious. So, anyways, they're both Steve's ready to dip, and Iron Man's seeing off his father. And I feel like his dad is mischaracterized here quite a bit. He's way too nice. It's way too like setting it up for him to make it easier for Iron Man to forgive him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I don't like this.
They need to have that little wholesome moment.
They do have a bit of a wholesome Keanu, a wholesome Chungus Reddit moment.
And they got the stones. They got the pin particles, and then they dip. And now everything really about starting to go off the rails.
Well, one thing. I'm sorry. We need to backtrack.
Okay.
We need to reel it in. We need to back up because something very significant happens here, Evan. Jarvis comes from the classic Agent Carter show.
Cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Was this foreshadowing for the Disney Plus shows?
Oh, maybe.
Connection to the movies more.
Is ABC canon?
Is ABC canon?
We'll never know.
I don't care.
I don't care.
But yeah, they do. It is kind of cool that for the first time they bring in some ancillary MCU.
Okay, so
and then she uses the nebula to destroy the nebula.
Yes, and she takes her headpiece.
She takes her Saiyan tracker, whatever it's called.
Her Saiyan tracker.
The Saiyan, the Saiyan eye thing.
Yeah, she takes it and she dips. She goes into the past.
She hits the dip. She's impersonating the old, or not the old. I'm sorry, the future Nebula. She's impersonating her, which all it takes is a gold plate. She pulls off her face, and that's pretty cool. What do they get here? What is this?
That's a pin particle.
Oh, is that a pin particle?
Mm-hmm. That's how Thanos. That's what Thanos uses to go into the future.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And okay, now
we got a bit to talk about now. We got something.
I was incorrect. Stuff didn't start going off the rails yet because I forgot about this big moment.
Right. So they're walking up to try and find the Soul Stone. They meet this
Mr. Ronin / Hawkeye and Miss Black Widow.
Mr. and Mrs. Literally the mommy and daddy of the MCU. So yeah, they square up on Red Skull, and he's like, "I'm a ghost. Don't worry about it."
I'm a ghost. Those were his words. I'm a ghost. Don't worry about it. I'm all good.
Don't worry about it. We don't gotta fight. I just want
you to fight each other.
I just want one of you to push each other off. I think that's funny. I think it's funny to make people push each other off.
Yes.
So this is what you have to do. Red Skull looks kind of cool, I guess, but it's very stupid that it is Red Skull.
Yeah.
He looks cool though.
Somehow, of all people, it's him that ends up being the guardian of the Soul Stone.
It's just because they like, instead of dying...
Easter eggs, because Easter eggs.
Instead of... this plays into Infinity War more than this. It's just they had to have him again.
Yeah.
But it's very stupid the way that it's like, he gets shot into space, so we had to have him do something. We've never seen any other person in any type of way spiritually connected to any stone. And this dude stole the Space Stone. He becomes the keeper of the Soul Stone, the only stone we haven't seen. Very dumb. Very dumb. But yeah, then we have this character conflict.
Like, how are the two connected?
They're not.
Yeah, so whatever. Dumb. They just want to bring Red Skull back. It's fine. It's not a huge criticism, but whatever.
Yeah, it's more of a... If anything, it's more of a criticism for Infinity War. But I still don't like it.
Anyway, so... They're trying to decide who's going to die. Who's going to get thrown off that. And they both think that they should die. Because they're self-deprecating people.
Well, they both...
With dark paths.
I think it's... it's a little, There's... The main thing for me is that when there is a decent moment, it doesn't play into the movie in any other way. Like, you kind of have the Black Widow and Hawkeye set up. They meet, she gets her back in, or she gets him back in, and then they have this moment here. And then this is kind of just the end of any type of characterization or anything for these characters. Like, they're done after this. After this, they're just running around in brown, gray field.
Well, Black Widow dead.
Well, Black Widow's dead, of course.
And then Hawkeye. This is the only time they bring the Ronin thing back around. It's just so he can be like, no, I should die because I did bad things. Okay?
Well, they that's what I was going to say, too, is it's like, it's a little, I don't know, like bare bones, or it's a little, I don't want to say hack, but it's a little hack. where they kind of both just have like, I'm a bad person, I should be the one that dies.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's the only time the Ronin thing I guess even pays off at all. But
yeah, because
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Black Widow dies anyways.
The only thing that really, but yeah, they kill themselves. They fight. It's kind of a cute little like.
The fighting's cool.
It's an interesting moment where they're kind of fighting each other to die.
Yeah.
I like it. But the so I was gonna say too is like he also has the point of like my family's fucking dead, so I can die too.
Yeah.
Yep. But I do like the one of them makes the point of Black Widow. Hawkeye is the one who redeemed Black Widow in the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, not in that movie, but they established that.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the first Avengers movie.
yeah.
So I like that point. She has a good point there, where it's like you're the one that ever even gave me a chance, so I should give
This
you
is what
another
I'm doing
chance
you.
right now. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like I said, this probably is one of the better scenes in the movie.
Definitely.
And I like both of these characters, and I like their relationship.
Me too.
So I like seeing this.
Hard agree.
And it was sad.
It's pretty sad.
But ultimately, her death doesn't pay off because we're getting a spin-off movie now.
Yeah, and
of
it was
course.
like I feel like they literally like her like Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner. They flipped a coin, and they're like, "Who dies in Avengers Endgame?" Because he was like, "I have a show and you have a movie, so it does not matter who dies."
Pretty much.
And I like this moment too. It's way less over dramatic than Gamora's death in the same situation in Infinity War. That was terrible. That's probably my least favorite thing in the entirety of Infinity War.
Really?
Is Gamora's death.
I didn't think that was bad.
It's very, very long.
It was fine.
I think it's very over dramatic.
In my opinion.
But I like this better. It's quicker and I think it's sadder for it. And I hate the part also. Sorry to bring up Infinity War again, but I hate in Infinity War where she's like, "You were wrong. No one. You love no one." That whole scene is so bad. Oh my goodness. Anywho, so yeah.
I will say it is a bit weird that they chose to send Hawkeye and Black Widow into space.
To like literally probably the most cosmic cosmic like crazy situation. They send the two humans.
I'm not complaining. It's cool, but it's kind of funny.
But it does. I think ultimately it does. They're the two characters that fit the most into this.
Yeah, it's only for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's you know what I mean? It's goofy.
It is already just goofy that it's these two humans.
Yeah.
Meeting this spirit Red Skull.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, he's very sad in the little Thanos puddle, and then we go back to the Avengers facility.
And then they ask, "Where's Natasha?"
Where's Natasha? Bro, where's Natasha?
She's dead.
She's dead. Sad, very sad. And then we have a great follow-up to the Hulk, Bruce Banner, Black Widow relationship as established in Age of Ultron.
He throws a bench.
He throws a bench. Look at his face. He's so...
He gasps softly, according to the closed captions.
Softly gasps. Awesome. Everyone's a bit sad.
Understandably.
And then they just sit on... They just sit at the dock and they...
I'm glad that they didn't have anybody that really didn't have that much of a relationship with her there. Like, they have, for the most part, like,
it's
the original...
The core Avengers.
Yeah, so I like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And also, I think this scene... Because one criticism I see from, like, normal people about this movie is that Black Widow doesn't get
Implying that we are not normal.
Well, we're woke.
We're literally doing a podcast about this.
They're normies. We're woke.
Yeah,
we know this movie sucks.
We're so amazing.
But one thing, but you know what I mean. General audience.
I know. I'm just joking.
A general audience kind of criticism of this movie is that Black Widow doesn't get a funeral. Which, first of all, of course, she gets the spin-off movie.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like this scene is a lot more meaningful than the Tony Stark funeral, where they're just kind of commiserating her loss, where they're just talking about it. I think that's way more interesting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Than watching the entire MCU cast
just stand there in silence.
Black. Yeah.
No, for sure. You see Steve tearing up. You know, Steve. He had some low key feelings.
He got a little.
He had some low key.
He was in that truck. I know in Winter Soldier. He got a chub, bro. He got a chubby. He throws the bench.
He throws the bench.
Oh my gosh, Hulk.
You can't do that.
You're gonna ruin your
throw
wool.
the
You're
bank.
gonna ruin your woven sports jacket there. So I don't remember what they're. I guess
They
they're just
figure out
making
the
the gauntlet.
gauntlet, yeah.
They're just like, okay, she's dead. I mean, ultimately, to get all 6 stones in one day, 1 loss.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. You made out.
Good job, guys.
You made out okay. You made out okay.
Hulk decides it has to be him to do the snap.
I do,
which I didn't have a problem with.
I kind of like Thor desperately trying to have a hero moment.
Yeah, me too.
That's pretty good.
Because he's like, I fucked everything up.
He's like, I have to do it. Let me do it. And then of course Hulk is like, well, I'm the giant man, so.
And the gamma radiation. So that was cool. I didn't have a problem with it being Hulk.
But I'm pretty sure. You know what? No, we won't get into it, man. I'll get into it right now. This is our podcast, Evan, and I'll do what I want.
Okay.
Tony Stark, not only should he should have died using it, he should not have been able to even use it.
No, you're talking about this way too early. You're talking about this too early.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We can't talk about that yet.
You can veto that, but it does make sense that Hulk is probably the only one that would even be able to survive.
Yeah.
Let alone even wield them at all.
So Hulk, he puts it on. They all try to protect themselves in one way or another.
Evan, can I stop you here? Is this an MVC reference?
Huh?
For those of you at home, it's like Iron Man's little... When they're gearing up to snap, Iron Man busts out a blue energy shield, and he uses that in Marvel vs. Capcom, I think. Maybe not.
Sure. I don't know.
Epic.
I don't remember.
Anywho. So yeah, they're bracing themselves. For some reason, the normal human beings don't leave the room. Even though Iron Man literally put his entire suit on and added.
All Ant-Man did was just put his helmet on.
Hawkeye kind of just cocked his head and he was just ready. And they're putting down these.
They really should have left the room. Why did they stay there?
The human being should have left the room.
Honestly, they should just be like, Hulk, you do your thing, and they all left.
Yeah, for a fact. But I guess they want to sit there. They want to help him. Iron Man has to spray him with the foam.
They're giving him emotional support.
They're giving him emotional support. So then he puts on his Marvel Legends Hasbro Iron Man gauntlet. It starts vibrating, and yeah.
And he's literally in so much pain. His hand is being fucking destroyed, but he manages to pull it off. He snaps.
He manages to pull it off. I remember real quick if I can add a little tangent.
Let's go.
I remember before the movie you had spoiled it for yourself to some extent, and you were telling me like a lot of reactions to the leaks were, this isn't my Iron Man, this isn't my Cap.
We're getting there too soon.
No, let me just no, this is actually just for the whole movie. Is because you were not sure if I would feel that way about Thor, but you thought I probably would feel that way about Iron Man Cap. Upon reflection, Evan, I do actually like Thor in this movie.
No, so do I, except until the very end.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, so far, at least I'm just saying up to this very moment, I think he's well characterized, and I like him in this movie. So yeah, Hulk is faded.
He's faded.
He's
groaning, closed caption groaning.
He's parenthesis groaning, close parenthesis. He gets sprayed with hot goo by Iron Man.
Iron Man sprays that hot goo all over his arm.
Literally, Tony Stark sprays hot goo on the Hulk.
And Paul Rudd walks out, and he hears birds chirping.
And
he's like,
birds start a chirping.
And he's like, guys, I think it worked.
The sun is a shining. For some reason, this is a stupid nitpick. This isn't.
No,
for some reason, his wife's mobile carrier
immediately calls. Well, the first thing she does, she's been back for 20 seconds, is to call his cell phone. That's stupid.
No,
let's just call it what it is.
That's not even what I'm talking about.
But even that's stupid. The first thing she does is call his cell phone.
Why not?
So her cell phone's still working?
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Later?
Is for some reason, not only does he still have the contact with her picture, he's been paying for that line for 5 years.
Doesn't make sense. But okay, sure, whatever.
I mean,
it's not a nitpick. It's dumb.
If it was a good movie, you could look over that kind of thing. But yeah.
But on Paul Rudd,
they are all dumbfounded that that it worked, and then Thanos begins to attack, and I guess we have an hour of climax, don't we? Look at this.
An hour of great final battle.
We're at 2 hours, and the climax is starting. Holy shit. So yeah, they're blasting the Avengers facility. People are falling in the cracks and whatnot. People are falling down, Evan.
They're falling down.
People are falling down. Rhodey is inside his little helmet. I forget. I don't know why he turns off his suit, but
It was to like help him move to go save Rocket or whatever. Because Rocket was like under the rocks.
and then you have a cool Hulk moment that's similar to Secret Wars, I guess, where he's like holding up the big rubble.
Sure. It's
Very
fine.
cool.
I do kind of like that because Ant-Man doesn't really do too much in this movie, I guess. So it's kind of cool that he goes and saves them.
Does he save them?
Yeah, he gets them out of the rubble.
Good for him.
He jumps on a pencil.
He does jump on a pencil. Remember that was in the trailers? That was awesome. Remember when we thought this movie would be maybe good?
It's okay.
Remember that?
Just up until
It's not okay.
It's not terrible.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I feel like for the last 2 hours we've been like, all right, 2 hours in movie time, we've just been like, it's fine. we've said it's fine to way too much.
But ultimately, it's like
It's disappointing to me. That's the
it just
problem.
kind of happens. Like there's nothing going on, which is worse to me than if it was like Batman and Robin and it was terrible. Like it's just there's nothing.
That's what I'm
going
saying.
on.
It's just disappointing.
And they actively like here's where they start with Thanos. He just kind of sits down.
Gamora immediately decides, "Hey, let me free you."
It's like, you know what? I'm good now.
Yeah.
They kind of did the same thing with Loki, but because it's a TV show, they had a minute to be like, well, here's his rationale for being not a completely evil Hitler guy. But here, Gamora
She didn't need too much convincing.
she did not need any convincing.
No Guardians, no nothing, because there's pre-Guardians of Gamora. So we get to the three of them: Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor going to fight Thanos.
Bring me Thanos. Hell yeah.
So how do you feel about this fight?
Stupid.
Really?
Bad.
It's fine.
Stupid.
It's not like it's the best part of the final battle,
Easily.
in my opinion.
Easily. Wait. Hold on. What about when Captain Marvel flies through the ship? What about when Doctor Strange holds up the
Dude,
water?
isn't that what she did in her movie too? Oh, when Doctor Strange holds up the water, that was really cool.
No, okay. Actually, this movie is pretty cool because
Doctor Strange holds water.
literally Doctor Strange holds the water up.
Yeah, that was really dope.
Holy crap. But I'll get into why I hate this part more specifically. But as far as them soloing Thanos, well, not soloing because it's three of them, but just the three of them fighting Thanos is kind of cool. It's definitely, like you said, it's the best part of the final battle.
But what I don't like is that Thanos is somehow even more OP than he was in Infinity War with no stones whatsoever.
Well, he didn't use any stones fighting Hulk.
No, he had the Power Stone.
He wasn't using it.
Well, still, but my point is, he's still more powerful here than like he was in Infinity War. The power scaling makes no sense.
That's not really an issue for me.
Really?
No. Because
Thor, he almost killed him while he had all the stones, and here now Thor can't even do like anything against regular Thanos.
Yeah, it is bad. It's bad, but like ultimately,
Or Tony at least he was doing his thing in the battle against Infinity War. This was Thanos with almost all the stones.
true.
So you tell me the three of them together can't take on regular Thanos?
That's true. That's why I remember when
That doesn't make any sense.
When we were speculating about this movie, I was hoping it would be basically the core Avengers versus the Black Order and Thanos, which that would have served to, you don't have to have Thanos be super OP if you do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does just kind of handle them here. So, it's not good, but at the same time, like you said, this is the best part of the final battle, so that I can let slide. Power scaling also is something that I don't mind that much.
It's just that I didn't like that because I'm like, why
I
is he
agree,
more
though.
powerful here?
I agree, though.
I feel like Thor should have easily went in on him. I guess you can make the excuse he's fat, so he's weaker. Well,
Yeah,
sure,
maybe, I guess,
why not?
yeah, his little
Whatever.
His little arteries are clogged, and
Yeah.
he can't swing as hard.
So Ant-Man going to save them. That's cool, I guess.
Jumps off the pencil.
He jumps
very
off a
awesome.
pencil. That was like the greatest action set piece of all time.
They literally had to make a giant pencil for Paul Rudd, and they put him on a gun.
And a Hawkeye running from
The Outriders.
the Outriders. the spooky, scary aliens.
He's using his cool Batman stuff.
He's using his cool Batman stuff. He's fighting them.
He's swinging and swinging. One thing I was gonna say, let me backtrack a little bit. I do like how they don't really pull any punches with him murdering people earlier. I kind of like that.
Or chopping aliens in half.
Even though it's not particularly bloody. Well, this you can get away with that with aliens, but he was just dubbing these Japanese guys.
Yeah.
I like that. And then Nebula, he thinks it's good Nebula, but it's not. It's bad Nebula.
Oh, he just hands it to her. He had no problem.
Well, I mean, he was asleep. He was just, he's like, oh, like he's tired. He was just fine, and he's like, oh, gee whiz.
Dude, they really said Hawkeye, you go to space. Hawkeye, you hold the Infinity Stone, fight the aliens. Jesus, this is a dude with arrows.
They did put a little too much on Hawkeye, man. That's crazy.
Hawkeye, you test out the time travel. Like Jesus, he's just a dude.
I didn't even realize that. And it's like also he has to be the one that goes on the sacrifice mission. Like they don't know that, but like he has to deal with a lot here. I didn't even think about that, man. That's funny.
So there we go. Time travel, no consequences. Nebula kills her past Nebula, and she's still alive.
I really did see a lot of reviews that were like, this is so deep. Like,
this is a thinking man's time travel movie.
This is the thinking man's time travel movie with a fucking 1 hour long climax. I'm a bit of an action junkie, so I prefer something like The Dark Knight. Where
she kills her past self, and it's fine.
It's very
no problem.
No, but I remember people like after the movie they were like, that's so deep. Like she sheds her old self and she becomes a new woman.
You read that on Reddit?
I read that. Did read that on Reddit. Thor, Iron Man, and Cap keep bussing.
Captain America was getting his ass kicked.
It's kind of cool that
they had to let Captain America grab the hammer so that he can actually do something in this fight.
Let me pop off here. Okay.
Here we go.
Let me pop off.
It's happening.
Okay. Here's that. Okay. So we have them fighting, and just real quick, I do like kind of the callback where Thor uses the lightning to power Iron Man's suit, but they're doing it very deliberately, like in Iron Man 1 or not Iron Man 1, Avengers 1. They do it on accident. Here they're like very specifically doing it. So yeah, they're fighting Thanos. They're getting fucked up. He gets the weapons off Thor, and he's fucking beating the shit out of Thor. And then he's about to stuff. What's it called? Starkiller base.
He's about to stuff Starkiller base from.
You dropped the Starkiller base on my head.
That New Hope remake. I forgot the name of it.
Fuck you, Evan. But yeah, he's stuffing the axe in Thor's chest, and then it reveals that Cap has pulled Mjolnir from the dirt.
And he can now use Thor's hammer.
And he can now use Thor's hammer. New ability unlocked.
A new ability unlocked.
Level up.
How do you feel about this?
Stupid as shit.
Why do you say that?
Well, let me explain that to you, Evan. So in this movie, not much happens in terms of character. Would you agree with that?
Agreed.
Would you agree with that? I think maybe
at least for Captain America.
Especially for Cap, but you get a bit with Iron Man, you get nothing for Cap, and then you have Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Captain America, he doesn't progress, he regresses.
He for a fact he regresses.
Yeah, he can pick up the hammer.
And he's he's the only character tasked with like.
He does nothing in this movie because if he couldn't pick it up in Age of Ultron, why can he pick it up now?
That is where my issue lies.
I would say he was more pure of heart in Age of Ultron than he is in this movie.
I don't even agree with that, but you could have something like.
And I'll tell you why. But we'll get to it.
And I'll tell you why. No, okay. Give me the mic for a minute. Just give me the mic for a minute. Okay.
This man before talking about. Let me interrupt you, Evan. When you're about to say something, let me interrupt you.
Now listen. So in this movie, like we were saying, Cap doesn't do anything. He wears he has a few cool costume changes, and that's about it. Captain America has about as much to complain about as Thor, but he's kind of just fine. He's normal. There's nothing to characterize him in this movie. So what they could have done is something like, of course, his maybe not his arc, but his motive throughout the MCU from Winter Soldier on is that he loves Bucky and he wants Bucky back. So in this movie, in my opinion, it should have been because there's a general sense of like you need a warrior's spirit to wield Mjolnir. So maybe if he was willing to not sacrifice, like kill his teammates, but if he's willing to kind of just take on the mission himself without worrying about others in certain scenarios or something like that, then he earns Mjolnir through doing that. Or he earns Mjolnir in some specific way. Here he just picks it up, and then the audience was like, yay.
All it was just an Easter egg. That's what it was.
Excuse me.
All it was an Easter egg.
And then they retroactively, fucking 2 Avengers movies later, they're like, oh, well, he was just being polite to Thor. That's why he didn't pick it up in Age of Ultron. Fuck you.
They said that?
Yes.
When?
Joe and Anthony, or one of them said it. Whatever. They were like, he was being polite. He didn't want to be mean to Thor. No. And this is
yeah. That was Joss's vision? Don't speak on Mr. Whedon's vision.
Dead ass. Don't speak on Joss's vision, boy. But it just baffles me that this is like probably the only thing in the movie that lends itself to being character development through action or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, just you have 3 hours. Don't establish that or even attempt at that. He just picks it up. And that's literally something where to wield this weapon where you can have a cool action scene with, which will satisfy the audience.
This was the best. As far as just the action goes, ignore like story and character. I do think this was the best part, seeing him go in on Thanos with the hammer.
It's okay.
But like you said, it doesn't really make sense for him to suddenly be able to pick up the hammer here because he didn't change at all.
It's not even just that for me. It's the missed opportunity to give him some character. Like, it's literally a weapon that you can use in a cool action scene that will satisfy the audience. You can follow up with that
and have character development at the same time.
That's the icing.
Yeah.
And then but the substance is like, oh well, why can he pick this up again?
Yeah.
And you could have put that somewhere in these 3 hours. But nowhere did they put that in these 3 hours. And then also on top of that, you have this huge missed opportunity. On top of that, he has no other characterization in this or really any other Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a huge disservice to Cap.
No, I agree. It's cool to see that he picked it up. Because they let him pick up because they're like, yeah, we're not going to have another chance to do this. But
exactly, yeah.
But it doesn't make sense in the moment. But whatever, we see him do his thing. He goes in on Thanos.
He gets the dual wield.
For some reason, he could kick Thanos' ass with the hammer, but Thor couldn't. But it's fine.
Just because it looks cool. It's fine.
Just because it looks cool. And then Thanos says, no, fuck you. And
Thanos says, stop!
He said, stop, don't do that. And he starts kicking his ass.
Where are Thor and Iron Man?
No, I was literally about to say. Thanos, he started kicking Captain America's ass, and the Iron Man and Thor were like, you know what, let's just sit back and watch.
They were like, oh crap, he pulled up the hammer. They're like us, dude. They're like the audience.
Yeah, no, you know what? That's what Joe and Anthony Russo were trying to say here.
That's what they were going for.
That's what they were going for.
So he beats Cap down, but it is they have that reaction shot too of when Cap first picks up the hammer. And
but then Thanos like kicked him in the fucking head after he does that.
Does he do that?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, that's kind of funny actually. That's kind of funny. But I don't know where Iron Man went because we saw Thor get really fucked up, but Iron Man just kind of.
He's like, he said, you know what? I'm still a bit mad at you. a bit mad at you, Steve.
Said,
so you
what?
take this L.
He said, this is your fault.
This is your fault, bro.
I'm leaving.
Take this L real quick. So here we go. This is where Thanos, all of a sudden, he starts changing. And now it's no longer about, balancing everything out. Now he just wants to be evil. It says, I want to kill everybody.
Yeah, he's just like, this is my universe now.
No, now he wants to become like a dictator.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm going to make my own universe. Because before I feel like he was trying to be like, I don't know, like he was trying to be kind of, obviously he's doing fucked up shit, but he's trying to be unbiased about it. Yeah. I don't know if unbiased is the right word.
I think it is.
But it's like, he's like, yeah, it is unbiased because he's killing half of the universe.
He's not picking anyone.
He's not picking it. He's just like, I'm going to let this happen.
As far as we understand, like, who knows what he actually did? Because it's weird that the core Avengers remain. But
that's just a cool little Easter egg for the finale.
I guess. But ultimately, like, fucking his goals as far as his own thought process, it was a noble thing. He wasn't killing anyone specific. It wasn't like, oh, all the have to die. It was unbiased. It was
not even say that.
And there needs to be enough resources. There's not. There should be less people.
Yeah.
But he just like, for some reason, the slightly younger version of himself
is more evil.
And he's like, well, you know what?
Did you see that menacing look at the end of Avengers 1? He looked pretty evil there.
Maybe
younger Thanos.
He softened up a little bit between that and I guess. Yeah. But there was this small window here in 2012, or no, not 2012. This is 2014 Thanos. I don't know.
It's who cares?
Maybe this is 2012 Thanos. It is 2012 Thanos, right? Yeah.
It's bad.
So he softened up between Avengers 1 and Infinity War. He softened up a little bit.
Yeah, but then Thanos is just like, no, I want to be evil and kill everybody and start my own universe.
I feel like there's really no reason to even mention that.
He's just mad at the Avengers.
Like, he could have been like, I'll kill all the Avengers and then do it all over again.
Yeah, like, anybody could have gotten his way, but now he's just like, no, I'm going to kill literally
everybody.
Like,
I'm going to make the moon shaped like my head. And,
And that's where I feel like, okay, because before everyone was like, oh, Thanos, he's a villain, but he has a motivation, And now it's like, now it just feels like his motivation to be evil.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruins I don't know if mystique is the right word, but like what was going on with him in
at the very
Infinity
least, like
War.
The characterization. Yeah. Like it completely ruins Infinity War Thanos. This movie.
For sure.
And usually I wouldn't be quick to say that because it's, sometimes people are like, oh, this movie ruined this movie, like, but these are so interlinked to the point where they go to that movie.
Because Infinity War and this is a part 1 and part 2.
It's a part 1 and part 2, and on top of that too, it's like, this is literally that character from the past, like everything like that. So it's like it does affect that movie and how I see Infinity War for a fact.
Well, they all come back.
He said on your left.
He said on your left. They come back.
What? Okay, Evan, I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
What is the most epic entrance?
The most epic entrance
out of all the portals at the end of Endgame here. What is
they're all so hype. It's so hard to pick.
They're all very hype.
They're all so hype. I like when Drax pops out and poses. That was so cool.
He says, oh. Yeah, I like that too.
No, honestly, Black Panthers might be the best. I'm not even joking. Like, he looked pretty cool when he came out.
How do you feel about the on your left line?
It's fine, I guess. I don't care. Little callback. That's all this movie is, just callbacks.
It's weird to me to reference that movie specifically.
Well, they were referencing all the movies in
I
there.
guess so. You know what? It's fine. Whatever.
It's fine. I like Falcon. That's fine.
Little did he know he would take his job, pretty soon.
But you know which intro is the worst.
Spider-Man.
You know.
Spider-Man?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And they have that little moment where he just takes off his nano helmet so all the fangirls can just...
Why does he come out and smile?
Who's he smiling at?
Well, not only who... Like, he's staring
and his hair blowing in the wind.
He's staring out at fucking all these evil monsters. Mr. Stark, there's so many evil monsters.
Mr. Stark, where...
Ibombe! Ibombe!
Okay.
Epic.
So, everyone comes back, and they're ready to fight.
One thing that does bother me
is that Groot looks goofy standing right next to Bucky.
I do hate teenager
Groot.
But what I was gonna say is it's very goofy to me that
I like Korg and Meek there. That cool.
Korg and Meek is epic. I like Donald Duck or whatever. Howard the Duck.
Where is he? I don't even know where he is.
We'll have to see if we can spot him here. But one thing that I don't like is the vast majority of people fighting for the good guys are generic wizards and like what's it called? Just like generic Wakandans.
It's like, who else are they gonna? You got the main characters, well, they need an army, so that's who they call it.
But
I guess they got the Asgardians also.
And how many?
The thing is, I didn't even remember there was that many wizards in Doctor Strange.
There's not.
That's why I was like, yeah, they called a lot. I do like Wong when Wong's like, you want it more? I do kind of like that.
I like Wong.
Yeah,
Wong is goated.
I fuck with that.
Am I wrong or am I right?
I like when Wong's like, you want it more?
Yeah, they're like, oh, Shang-Chi's the first Asian American like superhero, whatever. Like,
yo, y'all forgot Wong?
bro, y'all sleep on Wong? Like, where's the Wong solo movie? Please.
I would dig it. Bro,
what if instead of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it was Wong in the Multiverse of Madness?
I would watch it.
I'd watch that more
because
times.
I'm so brainwashed into watching all these films.
I would
have no choice. I literally have no choice.
I'd watch Korg and
Disney
Meek.
will turn my brain off.
I'd watch Korg and Meek go to Kroger.
I would watch it.
I would watch,
easily.
Well, that would be Taika Waititi. Of course, he has a very good sense of humor. But yeah, you wanted more was a pretty funny line.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It is only because Wong said it. That's the only reason I like it.
Well, I like Wong.
Wong stands.
I
fuck with Wong.
Unironically, we stand Wong.
I liked in Doctor Strange 1, he was like, can you stop? He keeps dying. I did like that, and I don't like that movie. So
I like in Infinity War when he's like trying to bum off Doctor Strange. And he's like, oh, I have 200 rubles, and he's like, oh, how much is that? And he's like, 75 cents. And he's like, can you get me a ham on rye or whatever? I like that part too. I like Wong. So yeah, we're having the heroes are lining up.
And oh my god, so ugly. Just gray. Everything is gray.
It's just a grayish brown for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And we just have CGI millions of people running at each other.
But literally, bro, they have literally Spider-Man with the Infinity Gauntlet on a Pegasus, bro.
Yeah. That might be the best thing I've ever seen.
That is so dope.
It's just so ugly.
It's very ugly. You already know. You already know. I like...
And all CGI. Literally, you're just staring at... like 98% CGI.
It's a pre-rendered PS4 cutscene.
No, seriously. And it looks so bad.
Like, I don't even think... To be honest, like, we're looking at a shot right now of all the heroes running. I don't even think that's really Cap. I don't even think that's actually Chris Evans running in front of everything. I think that's just a render.
Is CGI.
I think that's just a render. Literally. I think that's just a render.
I like Thor's face there.
He does have a big Wojak face. But yeah, I don't even think that's really Chris Evans. But I do like when, to backtrack a little bit, I like when Rescue drops in. It's kind of cool. She comes and supports Tony.
It's fine.
I kind of like that when she drops in.
I like Pepper, so yeah, it's fine. It's cool.
I like when she sells me goop.
Oh.
I like when her and Alex Jones sell me the same thing with different.
And he's stabbing that man in the back, Drax. My favorite character, Drax, going in. No, this part kind of cool.
And they're shooting together. That's pretty cool. Unibeam. They're fighting. I guess we can probably just say that for a while.
And it's just ugly.
It's like, how much for that arm?
Okay, now we have. Now we have this wholesome moment.
What does he say? What does he say here? Holy
cow!
Says,
holy cow! Oh, you know what the problem with Tobey Spider-Man is? He never quips, but Tom Holland Spider-Man quips so much. He says, "Holy cow! Whoa, that was awesome."
He says, "Holy cow!" Literally, the space wizard pulled me out, and I thought I was gone, but I.
So much quipping.
But Doctor Strange was there, right? He was like, "It's been 5 years. Come on, they need us." And then there's a yellow. He does the yellow sparky thing. He does, and yes.
All him quipping.
It's like, bro, you are like 20.
Tom Holland, you're almost 30 years old.
Please pull it together. Please. Like literally, they just like, Tom, you have to say thingy. You have to say awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star-Lord.
And Tony is so happy to see Peter. He's not happy to see anybody else back, but he's wholesome Peter. He's so
wholesome
happy.
Chungus. So yeah, fucking Gamora saves Star-Lord and kicks him in the nuts. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool moment.
Then I guess she finds out that she has a relationship with him through Nebula. Because she's kind of like, oh, really? It's him?
Your choices were him or a tree?
Yo, were they shipping Gamora and Groot? I didn't know that was a thing.
Imagine being fucked by wood.
Oh.
Imagine that.
No, I don't want to.
Anyways, Cap is still running around. Everyone's still running around. They're turning on cool little devices and stuff. Very cool. Doctor Strange has an important job to do. Ant-Man has to turn on the van. Doctor Strange has to hold up the water. They all have a part to play. They all have a part to play.
Black Widow remembered Clint's name, even though he said I don't care before.
Black Panther, yeah.
Oh, did I say Black Widow? I meant Black Panther.
This part's cool. I like this part a lot. When Scarlet Witch comes and fights him. This is probably my second favorite part of the end here. The end fight. I like it.
This man said everything terrible. I like this.
But the only thing is, like, it's not... It has nothing to do with fucking anything. Like, it's just... This might as well just be a clip to promote the movie.
Because that's all the movie is. That's all it is. It's just Easter eggs.
That's why I think it's one of the worst MCU... I think it's the worst MCU movie.
The whole movie is just fan service moments. And that's not what we wanted.
Do me a favor, Evan. Name a character arc in this movie.
There is none.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I don't like
more
it.
Satisfying...
Turn on instant kill mode.
Oh,
we
God.
finally get to see instant kill mode in action, bro. Oh my goodness. We get to see Elizabeth Olsen's big bazungas. Very cool. But yeah, she's fighting Thanos. She's holding her own. She's about to win. And then Thanos says, firebomb the shit out of everybody. Just do it. So yeah, they start firebombing everything, and then the water falls. And Doctor Strange, I'll tell you what, he heroically swoops in and he stops the water, and then we don't get to see him again.
And now we get this cool moment of Spider-Man flying around.
He literally flies on Mjolnir, and he flies on his fucking scorpion, and he flies
on rescue.
He flies on a Pegasus, and he flies. Very cool. Oh, and then we get the Avengers part. What is it called? What are they called? The A-Team or something?
No, not yet. Because now we have to have...
Captain Marvel?
She did not... once again, she was just absent from the entire movie. But they have to hype her up just coming...
I think her intro's kind of cool.
Here?
Yeah.
It's fine, but that's the thing. Again, with Captain Marvel, it's like... The only thing they do with her is just try to make her look like this amazing savior. But then outside of that, have her do nothing else. And that's really my main problem with Captain Marvel.
My biggest part,
at least up to this point in the MCU.
Yeah. My biggest problem with her appearance here is literally all she does. Like, this is the least visually interesting thing ever. Like, she
crashing through a ship.
She just flies through the ship.
It was like the final battle in her movie. Yeah.
Bad. Very bad. It's like, it's just...
That's the thing about it. They just hype her up, but then they don't do anything interesting.
It has nothing to do with, like, oh, she's too powerful. Oh, this and that. It's just... She's a superhero. Do something visually interesting. It's very... And it also boils down to Captain Marvel's a very generic superhero in general.
Yeah. But they could have... they could have did something interesting with her in the movie.
They could have. I wish... When they look up in the sky and they're like, what is that? It should have been Moon Knight.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, Moon Knight should have came and saved the day. But see, that's every time Captain Marvel comes, that's always what it is. Oh, this, you know what I'm saying? They say that's the only thing they give her is just to try and make her seem like the savior.
They just want to grandfather her into the Avengers as like a Superman type character, but she's like, why do I like her?
Yeah, they give us something. Give us something to work with.
I don't know. There's just, I mean, I guess she does have an arc in her movie, I guess. But there's nothing in that movie that endears me to her. She's not charming. She's not, and like, I don't want to be one of those like the quartering type guys where I'm sitting here talking about, whoa, Brie Larson's a bad actress or anything. It's not really that. It's just like all she does in that movie.
No, I don't put it on Brie Larson. I'm putting it on Marvel.
yeah. Whatever hack fraud writes Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, whatever it is a team effort. But like, there's just nothing that endears me to her in any way. And they also make a point to have every single hero be like, oh, she's so great, she's so cool.
Exactly.
Like, why?
Give us the why.
Why is she cool? And you can't just, I don't know. I like her dyke haircut. And then what is this called?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
They had the lineup with all the girls, which I think personally, I don't like this scene. Not to sound like the quartering too much, but I don't like this part because it was done much better, in my opinion, in Infinity War.
Oh, with
and here it's pretty like
when they fight one of the.
It's pretty ham-fisted here.
one of the members of the Black
It's
Order.
basically, what is it? It's a Okoye, Scarlet Witch, and Black Widow.
Yeah.
That part's dope.
That was a better moment.
I like that a lot.
For
And
sure.
then here it's just like...
Also, it feels so incomplete with Black Widow missing.
That
It
too.
just doesn't feel right.
That too. And then we have these big gorillas and whatnot.
But here's the real problem is Captain Marvel carrying the stones, trying to put it in Ant-Man's truck. Why doesn't Captain Marvel just put on the gauntlet? She's supposed to be so powerful, right?
And then, Evan, not to undercut you.
Even stronger than Hulk.
I want to suck my own dick, Evan. I want to pat myself on the back. I did say that after the movie on our first viewing.
Okay.
I just want to pat myself on the back.
Okay.
I just want to pat myself on the back.
That doesn't take away anything. I'm saying
No, I'm not taking away from your point. I just want to suck my own dick for a second.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. But I agree with you. And an additional part that makes that worse to me is that Kevin Feige was like, no, like she's more powerful than she's the most powerful MCU character. Like
then put that shit on.
They made a huge point about that before her movie, and it's like, if Hulk can live, for a fact you can live because you're more powerful than the Hulk.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I would say she is.
Which
like
is
based
fine.
on what we've seen, she is more powerful.
Yeah, she didn't just dub that whole ship just by flying through it. So, but yeah, snap your fingers, bitch. Get to work. Why do you got to bring that to the van? And you don't even have to snap. You don't even have to snap. Just grab one of the stones and dub their army.
Pretty much, yeah.
Even Iron Man didn't have to do that. He could have taken all the stones out and used one. I mean, I guess he does kind of have to use them before Thanos gets it off him. But ultimately, like right here, you just need one stone. Don't use the time stone, I guess, but the power stone, reality stone, one of them, and the entire army is done. You didn't even do any damage to yourself.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's continue.
But I guess they're like, oh no, the mission was to put the stones in the time machine. But no, she could have just...
I don't even know why they wanted to do that. Why did they want to do that?
To get away from Thanos, I guess.
Use the stones to destroy the stones, then.
They wanted to start putting them back where they belong.
If that's your cool logic.
No, because they had to put the stone back, I guess. But anyways...
No, they have to destroy the stones to use the stones.
But anyway, she should have just put them on.
He destroys the van. No, she should have used it. There's no reason for her not to have used it. Doctor Strange continues to struggle with the water. They follow up on that real quick.
And Tony sees the gauntlet.
He tackles the fucking Thanos.
Somehow. And more...
I do like the way Thor handles the weapons. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we're just watching the movie now. Okay. So they're all jumping on Thanos.
Here's the moment she could have just put it on and used it.
She could have put it on and used it when she first grabbed it.
Well, yeah, for sure, but you know what I mean? Like,
oh, wait, I do like this one part, too. This is one part that a lot of people liked when he has the gauntlet on. Wait, is this... I don't know where it is. But he has the gauntlet on and Captain Marvel's, like, stopping him. And then he just pulls out the Power Stone and punches her with it. That's pretty,
oh, yeah.
I kind of like that, because it's kind of like, yeah, why wouldn't you do something like that?
So, yeah, she definitely is stronger than Hulk because he head-butted her and it did nothing.
Yeah.
Where Thanos kicked Hulk's ass without any trouble.
With nothing, yeah. And then the classic Doctor Strange signal. Doctor Strange is maybe, at least as far as his powers, he's like the most visually interesting character. And they decided to just have him stand there and hold the water. What the fuck?
They decided to have him stand there and stare at Tony Stark.
Good gravy. Good gravy. So yeah, he's inevitable, and then dink, and it doesn't work, and then
because
Iron
somehow, because nanotechnology, he can use it.
Man, and they're sliding up his glove,
and he puts on all the stones, and he gets even less fucked up than Hulk somehow. Now we can talk about this.
He doesn't get less fucked up than Hulk.
No, putting them on.
Oh, just putting them on.
Yeah.
Well, dude, he has the nanotechnology.
Yeah, okay. So why didn't you do it to Tony? Why didn't you offer to fucking snap?
Well, I think, of course it's gonna kill him. But I mean, I remember in
But look, you had to be like strong enough to even wield them.
Yeah,
Did they
that's what I'm
establish
saying.
that? So how the hell is he wielding them?
No, because in Guardians, do you remember when like just a human,
Just to use the Power Stone.
like the slave,
they all had to work together.
remember they showed the Collector's slave, and she grabs the stone to try and like use it to escape or something, and then it just kills her immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
this dude
for
has,
all of them to use the Power Stone, they had to work together.
bro has all 5.
That's what I'm saying. No
And it does
problem.
nothing.
It does nothing. It makes no sense.
There has to be.
Why didn't he just pick up Thor's hammer? And we're like,
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to really any of it, and on top of that, they needed to like, for me to suspend my disbelief so much, it has to be a good story. This is not a good story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all this shit could fly, but this is just bad.
We got Thanos looking dumbfounded.
He got that bit. He said, "Oh no."
He said, "Oh no."
He said, "I am Iron Man." What a callback!
Oh, what a callback!
What a callback
What a
to the
callback.
end. And he's at the end of Iron Man 1.
And then
And then
all
he
of
snaps,
Thanos' aliens
And he
disappear.
saves all the little friends that he had over the years. What an ending!
And
Black Panther said,
bet he said bet.
he said, he didn't say anything. He just stared off into space. So yeah, Ebony Maw dies, and it's very stupid how all the Black Order die unceremoniously in the background of this fight. None of them are paid any attention. Because I remember we were talking about before.
Somehow Thanos managed to withstand being dusted for like
Dude,
1
it's
minute.
like Spider-Man.
You get to sit
It's
down
like
and
Spider-Man,
sit. Yeah.
dude. He's too powerful, and he can feel it, or whatever.
He managed to sit down and like look off into the sunset for a second before he dies.
That's how you know you fucked up. That's how you know when you fucked up. So yeah,
And now we get Tony's stupid death.
Tony's terrible death.
It's just him, his decrepit body, laying there in silence.
It's literally like in this scene he may as well not be conscious. Like
No, seriously.
you can't tell really even if he is conscious. He's just barely clinging on to life, and all these people are coming up like, Tony, I'm so sorry. Like all these people are coming up and crying in his face when it's like he probably isn't even alive anymore.
No, seriously, does he even comprehend what you're saying?
Look at this.
And for some reason,
they give Tom Holland the most amount of time to talk to him. Yeah.
it should. And Steve gets nothing. Thor gets nothing.
Well, they don't die. Oh, to talk to him.
Yeah, to talk to him.
No, of course. Because this is a fucking
They
Avengers.
spent way more time
This is an Avengers
with him
movie.
than.
Yeah, at least on screen time.
Yeah.
This is an Avengers movie.
No, I would say more regular time. I'm pretty sure also.
Maybe. Well, not Pepper.
No, I'm talking about Peter Parker.
Spider-Man? Oh, yeah. No, he spent, like, how much time?
Yeah, I'm not saying, obviously Pepper deserved this moment, and so did Rhodey, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
But you want to have Cap and Thor there.
Yeah.
At least instead of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they just played up kind of the fandom thing.
And now we can talk about why Tony's death is stupid.
Cue up the brown table music.
Like that YouTuber?
What's his name?
Mauricio? I think his name, or is it
Round
Maurice?
Table? Yeah. Cue that up.
Shout out to him. He's cool.
He's alright. Anywho, so what were you gonna say? Go ahead. Start talking about Tony.
Well, up to this point, in all these MCU movies, hasn't it felt like Tony's been shitting on his dad? The reason he's so fucked up is because his dad was terrible to him. And now he has a chance to do something that his dad didn't do, which is put his work to the side, retire, and be a good father, be a good husband. But he just fails. And now he's going to leave his kid to be alone, fatherless, like he was. And who's to say she might not get all fucked up like Tony was? You know what I mean?
She'll probably go back in time and forgive him too, and then kill herself.
That's what I'm saying.
The
like,
cycle continues.
so, no, seriously. It's
Yeah.
it's not satisfying to me, at least, because now I feel like, oh, now Morgan is probably going to go through a lot of the same issue Tony had to go through. And that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Tony would want to do that to his kid after what he went through as a kid.
I guess to play devil's advocate a little bit, even though I completely agree with you about this, it does make sense in terms of Pepper's always kind of been like, even though, like we said, it's not consistent and it's not good, but they're always kind of like Pepper is worried for his life and shit, and then he takes it too far and he eventually dies. And of course, there's also the factor of they were super proud of the little Doctor Strange cliffhanger in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And when they just love that, I guess, right? Where they're kind of like, oh, there's only one reality where it works, and you have to fucking die. You have to be here so you can die. Which I don't know how they would have followed that up without, because this seems like the only way really to do it. Even though it was kind of it was a really small thing in this movie, where it didn't feel like that. The Doctor Strange thing prediction didn't really play into this at all until that one moment towards the end here. But just in terms of like a broader kind of character thing, yeah, it's and people love to point to that one Iron Man moment in Avengers 1. You remember where Cap is like, "You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play," and they're like, "He did make the sacrifice play." That paid off in that movie. The sacrifice thing, it paid off in that movie, but Hulk caught him. He didn't have to die. But
Yeah.
yeah, so you don't need to pay it off here. We know he's a hero. It's fine.
That's why I don't like Tony though.
And
because
plus,
I feel like Tony deserved to retire.
Plus, yeah, because the thing is,
He didn't deserve to die.
You have the character with a family kill himself, and then the character without a family like uses time travel to make a family. None of that, for me, none of that lines up. None of that shakes out.
Yeah, Captain America. Which is why Captain America's ending is also
bad.
Very unsatisfying.
Very also bad.
Which should we talk about now?
We might as well. That's all really we got left here.
Okay, so Captain America's ending, he goes back in time, gets with Peggy after he drops off the stones. But doesn't that kind of contradict what Captain America's character arc up to this point has been building up to? Is that he's learning to accept living in the present. In Age of Ultron, he had that vision where he sees the past, but isn't that kind of like what he shouldn't be striving for, that vision? It's like his temptation, but he knows it's not right.
Yeah.
He decides at the Age of Ultron that this is his new family. You know what I mean?
No, because in
the Avengers, and he wants to...
Yeah, you're right.
Keep moving on. Move on from the past. Why go back? You know?
And there's also the factor in that vision you're talking about, too, where I think, what does Peggy say? Or Peggy says something about him needing a war or something.
I don't remember.
Something like that. And it's like, it's a much more satisfying ending to me if he dies in a fucking war. Like,
yeah, for his new family.
Yeah.
Which is all the Avengers, all the friends he's made in the present.
Yeah.
Because he's, developed a lot of new relationships. But instead they said, no, let him go back to the past. Don't move on. Love that same girl that you loved for however many years. Don't move on.
It's just a bad like, they just had to have...
No, it is. It is.
It's a bad message.
They don't move on.
And it's also, they just...
And he played Sharon. He played that. They say, play that girl that you would think, make her think that you have a thing for her, but actually go back with your ex.
And then go back to Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
See, no, that's horrible. But for some reason, all the Redditors of the world were very satisfied with this.
Yeah, man. I remember when after Endgame came out, I commented on the MCU subreddit, and I was like, Endgame was bad, man. Like, let's talk about it. And then they just banned me immediately. Endgame.
This is my biggest problem with the movie.
The Iron Man and Cap.
Yeah. The rest of the movie, I'm kind of like meh on. It's just disappointing, not a satisfying.
It's just like a
finale.
Saturday morning cartoon or something.
But then when you get to the ending, and this is when it starts getting bad.
I don't mind him giving Sam the shield.
No, that was cool. Yeah, I wanted. If I had to choose between Sam and Bucky to be Captain America, I would have went with Sam.
Well,
so I was happy.
I also like the idea that they're working together.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that pays off. They do that.
And I felt like Sam deserved it more than Bucky, personally.
And plus, it's like, in a way, this is very, like, I don't know, tangential. It's not super relevant, but it's also like he gives the shield to the new guy, not the guy from his past.
So you're already contradicting your message with
kind of.
with the.
It's not a huge contradiction.
No.
But
I get what you're saying.
It should be consistent.
Yeah, it's not consistent.
yeah. That's not consistent at all.
And you want to talk about Thor's ending?
And then Thor, what does Thor do? Thor...
He leaves Asgard.
He stays fat and goes to space.
Which I didn't like, because also I feel like Thor's arc up till now has him trying to become the king.
Yeah.
And, in Thor Part 1, he's kind of immature. He's not ready to become king yet.
Yeah, that's why he gets cast out or whatever.
Yeah, so it feels like up to this point, by now he should be ready to lead. Well, they kind of just drop all of that. You know what I mean?
I think
they give us that in Ragnarok a little bit at the end of it, but then why immediately dip on that right away? His isn't as bad as Captain America or Iron Man's. I don't think so.
Well, of course, because also he's not dead. Or dead.
Captain America is effectively dead.
Yeah, he's dead in any type of meaningful way.
Yeah.
Like whether the cool conspiracy theories in
He's
the
on the
Disney Plus
moon.
show, whether those are true or not, he's out of play.
Yeah.
So we don't get anything else with them. Thor, he's about to go have cool adventures in space or whatever. He's about to go fucks with his ex too.
As we'll see, we've yet to see it, but it will happen. I suppose.
Marvel is run by bunch of down bad fellers, I guess. But I do disagree with you a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's that deep. Just because, like we were saying, like he's not dead, so we'll see where he lands.
Well, he makes Valkyrie
the king,
the king, queen, whatever.
the matriarch.
He makes her the matriarch, and I don't know.
She's a girl boss.
Has she done anything to earn this? I mean, I guess she was taking care of them over the 5 years, but we didn't really see that.
I think that was implied
that she had been leading anyways.
Thor's a lazy piece of shit, and I've just been doing everything.
Yeah. So I guess in that way it's fine, but it's like, I don't know. We barely know her at this point.
Yeah.
Well, she had that one movie.
It's
but
definitely not.
She's
like,
cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely not like, oh, I'm happy to see her be the new Thor.
Yeah.
But that's not really what they're doing anyway.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, where's Asgard? And I don't mind after Ragnarok him kind of just. It's like, well, these are the remnants of my people, but this isn't Asgard. Like, and he's just kind of more worried about like, well, I think he deserves that too, to go do whatever he wants for a little bit, because like he was saying, like, my family's dead, my land's dead, my palace is gone, like, my brother's dead, whatever, like, whatever, everything's gone for him. Go do what you actually want to, because it would be different if his kingdom was always still there and maybe he could build up that responsibility, but it's like all that shit's done, it's gone, like space adventures time. I think his is the best of the three easily.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with those three.
We don't
so,
get oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, so I guess there's one more thing to talk about, which is Tony's funeral.
Well, that was actually before this.
Yeah, well, I figured the natural conclusion of us talking about Tony and Cap's end was to just talk about Thor's, but we can talk about the funeral also. It's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's just all the MCU just standing there and
Oh,
staring.
well, we didn't talk about AI Tony.
What about AI Tony?
He's awesome.
He's gonna come back for sure.
It's like, will I live through this? I have no idea.
It's just Marvel finding leeway to bring Tony back, of course.
Yeah, I can see Robert Downey. He's like, cut me a check.
I'll come back in it.
4 or something.
I'll be an AI. I do want to say there is a little sweet moment I do like in the funeral.
What do you like?
Which is Hawkeye and Wanda.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah,
too.
I do like that.
Okay, that's a good point.
Because we get to see them together. Because I don't want to say he's been a fatherly figure to her, but he's like kind of an older brother figure to
well,
her.
yeah. He's definitely, yeah. I like them in Age of Ultron, their little moment that they have.
And in Civil War.
Yeah. And I also kind of, too, this isn't really super related to what you're saying, but I like the idea of, like, probably one of the most powerful characters, like, being mentored by just a guy.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So that was cool. And I like when they
like
both
their
had that thing
relationship.
that they lost somebody.
Yeah.
And they're both like, they both be proud.
They lost, like, probably the most important other person.
Wanda, Vision will be back in 20 days from now.
Vision will return on TV. Epic.
And the funeral, it's just all the MCU just standing there watching.
I think the thing was they were like, it's the funeral, or it's the wedding. Bro, I was thinking about this scene. We're looking at Black Panther.
Is he at the funeral?
No.
He's not. Okay.
Wait, no, he is. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that's not what I was talking about. I'm just skipping through. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But there's that one shot of like Black Panther, and it's like him looking out over Wakanda, and the world is saved, and he's with his mom or whatever. It's just crazy to me that is just like, he has this very simple, happy ending here. He didn't play into the movie very much, and then he just has to be dead because Chadwick Boseman is dead.
Well,
that's not that's not. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm saying. Is like that's against Endgame.
No,
really.
yeah.
But I'm just saying it's very. it's interesting. It's weird to me that he has this very cookie cutter kind of like throwaway happy ending scene, and then it's like after the biggest battle in the entire universe, he dies from something else.
Yeah.
That's tough to handle. And I also did kind of want to mention where this leaves some of the other characters if you want to talk about that.
Let's go.
Like Hulk. Where will Hulk be going? He'll be going to Disney Plus too.
Yeah, he'll be going. That's the conclusion of Endgame. Everyone goes to Disney Plus.
We're moving on into Disney Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm excited to see him maybe in She-Hulk, make some funny, cool jokes.
We'll see.
Spider-Man, of course. Awesome.
Grown.
What other characters are there? Black Widow's dead. She has a movie. Hawkeye lives and has a Disney Plus.
They're all going Disney Plus.
Evan, who's your favorite MCU character that is not ruined by this movie? Who are you looking forward to?
God.
Oh, God.
Well, I was looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we got that. And
Did you enjoy
it? Was
it?
Cool. Yeah,
Did
season
you
1 was
enjoy
cool.
it?
It was tight.
I guess
Wasn't great.
Do you want
but
to
it
talk
was
about
cool.
some of those real quick?
Sure.
Quick. We don't got to go by like episode by episode or anything, but real quick. Just because they all follow up on Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which one is your favorite so far?
Oh, easily Falcon and Winter
Falcon
Soldier.
the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Well, yeah. Of course, you fell asleep during Loki episode 1, so you have. I mean, of course, also Loki's not done yet, but I like Loki quite a bit. I think pairing an MCU character with an already established MCU character with a new character, I think it's a better formula for like a more interesting show.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I do like that aspect of Loki a lot, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier felt a little cheap.
In what way?
It felt a little cheap just in terms of like, it felt very small, and it felt like it wasn't written too great, which makes me upset because the same team I think is working on the Falcon.
Yeah,
movie.
Captain America 4. Yeah.
So that's not great.
We'll see. I really liked the first 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes were really good.
Me too.
After that, it has its ups and downs.
And then
Zemo was really good in it too.
I like Zemo a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good show. I did like it.
It's a good show. I'm happy.
WandaVision started out good, then just became more disappointing.
It just got worse. And the ending is terrible. Of course.
Yeah.
The
payoff is that she gets a new costume.
That's it. That's really all the.
That's almost the payoff in Falcon though too.
I almost would not be surprised if Loki ends with him getting a new costume, and there's no other status quo change. That seemed like so far it's weird that that's a pattern. Is it
weird? It's called merchandising, my friend.
It's I mean it's not okay. It's not weird, but it's a pattern.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a very cheap way. Because you kind of just put Falcon back where he was at the end of Endgame. We're playing footsies under the table for those of you at home. But they kind of just put Falcon back where he was at the end of Endgame. I guess Wanda changes quite a bit, but I don't know if they'll ever even address that again if she's in the movies. But yeah, Falcon is just kind of like, he got the shield in the movies. He gave it back in the TV show. At the end of the TV show, he takes it back.
Yeah.
So he's just back where he started.
He just has a different costume.
No, he just has a cool costume. Yeah. So yeah, Disney Plus, Endgame, hype for Spider-Man in December. Epic. Do you have any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, well, if this was how Phase 3 ended, Phase 4 ain't looking so good.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. I'm excited.
But we'll see.
I'm excited for Doctor Strange.
We've gotten literally nothing yet except Disney Plus shows. So.
Dude, Black Widow is. We'll be back here in a couple weeks for Black Widow, son.
That we will be.
We'll be back in a couple weeks for Black Widow. All right, Evan, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure. Thank you for listening to Real Nerd Shit. Subscribe to our Patreon. Pay us through on our Patreon. Give us all your money. Give us $100 a month, top tier. And what you'll get is you'll get a little voicemail. No, on your Discord.
We don't have a Patreon.
Yes, we do.
But thank you for watching.
Send us money on our Cash App.
If you give us $500, we'll literally buy you
a
spaghetti dinner.
We'll tweet you. We'll say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, we'll tweet you. I don't know. Just leave a comment and we'll tweet you. I don't care. If you leave a comment, I'll tweet you.
If you give me money
Literally, my Cash App.
I'll say what up.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll say what Gucci.
All right, close it out, Evan. It's about that time.
Real nerd shit.
Real nerd shirt.
Thanks
RNS.
for listening.
Thanks for listening.
That's a little kiss for all of you at home.
Professor Hulk.
Bye.